So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetri K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat, Saadiq, and he's actually recovering from being sick. If you guys watched our show earlier, you can tell he sounds like who has a raspy voice out there? It's somebody, okay. But anyway, so we are here and we are live. The purpose of the Demetri K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are great people, but we can always try to do better. We're going to be talking about Black Chicagoans are sleeping on trains as migrants get assistance. Of course, I'll get a little bit more into that, but I actually saw this on Twitter. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to switch gears a little bit because we're going to talk about something a little bit more on the trivial side. But I decided to kind of switch it to make it a little bit more important. Of course, like I said, big hello, thank you, and welcome to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation, and we often share the link here so you can come up and voice your opinion. If you like, the only thing I ask is that I see your face if I have not seen you on here before, just to make sure there's no shenanigans involved. Also, if you do not have anything pertinent to add to the conversation, when and if we do share the link, please do not click the link. We want to save it for people with an opportunity to really add something to it. I'm also ask that you be brief in your commentary as other people would like to come up and speak their piece, if you will. Who do we have on here? Robert, you said, yeah, it's bad here in Chicago with the homeless Black people sleeping on the trains. Them folks put Black folks out of the airport, but allow migrants to fill it up. Yes, indeed. How you do, honeydew? He says, I bet he see y'all in a few. Oh, okay. Hello, Thunder. How you doing? And Troy, what's going on? Think Tank, how are you? Said, damn shame they should go there to tent and be like, excuse me, Michael, how you doing? So Donovan, what's on your mind? I understand you want to really let us know something. Hello, Miss Tiffany.
Yes, guys, welcome to the Demetri K Show. Please excuse my voice. It's bad. I get congested this time of year, but I'm good to go. Fever's broken, so I'm good to go. Okay, are you guys sitting down? I have a special announcement, an important announcement. You Negroes have destroyed a paradise that we had down in the Dominican Republic. It is a fact that this woman sitting right next to me undermined everything that I work for and is shutting down Sasua because you Negroes are televising the revolution. This is a real thing now. If you guys haven't picked it up, for those of you guys that have been over there and been overseas, they are cleaning up Sasua. And I think Demetri K, because some of the wording that I read sounded just like Demetri K. If you hit the lottery or if you find a gold mine, do you go out there and tell everybody where it's at and what's going on? No, you don't, because people are going to come and try to encroach on your stuff, right? But you Negroes, you young know-nothing fools, just gave us an L. And I'm mad about it. Matter of fact, I talked to my therapist over there. She says, yes, Donovan, I'm glad you're keeping abreast of what's going on in Dominican politics. But you guys have ruined it. And I'm pissed. I am pissed.
Is that why you lost your voice? Because you was jumping up and down like Rumpelstiltskin, screaming and hollering?
Demetri K writing letters to the prime minister and all that other stuff over there, giving video evidence, all of that stuff. Stop videotaping these areas where the women are providing services. Golly, you guys.
So since we're on it, and who else came on here? Ironworks, how you doing? Said this is all done by design, as the U.S. government is deliberately wiping the collective memory of this nation by injecting foreigners into this land. Let's see here. Thunder said Democrats are in trouble this election cycle. And Lynette, how you doing? Says Black First from Montgomery, Alabama here. Brother Don, how are you? Mr. Cass, how are you? All right, so Donovan, just before we get into it, what was Sasua like, and will it be like, since you want to blame me for it?
Well, Sasua was a Black man's paradise. We just loved it. There's beautiful women there, beaches, nice resort town. Brothers could come there and fellowship together and actually hug each other and love each other.
But is that what y'all was doing?
Well, yeah, that's what we were doing. It was a fellowship spot for brothers to go and pray, and, and strengthen our faith. Now what they're going to do is, Businesses that cater to the girls, certain businesses get a lot of girls, so they want to disperse the girls. And so they're going to move some of the clientele or the business women away from the city, away from Sosua. And it's really not Sosua as much as it is actually Puerto Plata, because people were complaining, the few people that were complaining of what was going on. But I just want to tell the young men out there, because every time I go there and I go to different places, I tell them, okay, sex work is sex work. And I'm not shaming sex work, because a lot of you sisters here in the United States have an OnlyFans. So that's sex work. So it's no different. Sex work is sex work. But some of these women have families, they have boyfriends, they have husbands. They don't want to be filmed. And you fools now have made it to where they have the evidence to move stuff away. And now they're basically going to make like a red light district kind of away from the resort area. So thank you, Demetra K. Thank you for, once again, making men upset, and just, it sucks.
Let me know if there's more I can do, okay? But anyway, let's get down to business. I'm sorry that you guys' little heaven paradise is, going to be changed. Y'all, I'm sure y'all be all right, okay? If nothing else, I will go and invest in Jergens lotion, because I'm sure the stock is going to go up. Nevertheless, let's see here. The real Aaron Collins, how you doing? And Netta, what's going on with you? And your average logical thinking, yeah, poor guys, right? Suburbia Jones, how you doing? It says Team Donovan and Papa Naya, how you doing? And Darian, all right. So, and Quita, how you doing? As you guys may or may not know, of course, Chicago, you'll be all right, Donovan. Of course, Chicago and is not the only city, but it's one that's been in the news a lot. Is experiencing a lot of issues in regards to migrants, right? And migrants have gone over to or been sent there, especially by Republican governors. Texas governor Greg Abbott is one of them, who has shipped and flown migrants to the Democratic ran cities because they are for the open border policies, right? So Chicago alone says that they have seen about 25,000 migrants go into the city since last year, right? Now, some numbers here. Mayor Brandon Johnson says that they will probably spend about $255 million just on taking care of the migrants alone by the end of the year. The state of Illinois said that they have spent and are spending about $650 million to help with the migrant situation, $160 million of that. So they'll get actually more. They're going to give more to that. $65 million is going to go to the weatherized shelter, because as y'all know, it is getting cold in Chicago. If not, it's already cold, right? Sounds like from what I saw in the tweet, it's about 15 degrees. That's pretty cold, right? And they said that $30 million will be allocated to intake and welcoming the migrants there in Chicago. And then $65 million, I guess, from the state of Illinois will go toward work permits. So as of now, there is a lawsuit from some of the residents in Chicago saying we don't want you guys to house them in public spaces like schools, park spaces, and where else did they say? Hotels and things like that. Now they are in police stations, airports, and things like that. And so they said it's a public nuisance to put them in those places. Now, not too long ago, they wanted to put them in a school on the south side of Chicago, but there was a lawsuit that went forward. And so I guess the city just decided not to do it, because that particular school was supposed to actually be used as a youth center. All right. And so they're saying that they in Chicago are getting about 700 migrants a week. 700 migrants a week. All right. So now there's some tension brewing, and it has been for a while, between the Black and Hispanic residents, because Black residents are like, well, what about us, right? Y'all all of a sudden get these migrants coming and y'all spending all these millions and millions of dollars to take care of them. But what about us, the people who are already here, right? And of course, we know Democrats cannot get into office without the help of Black people. So I saw this video here. I'm going to show it to you. And then we can have another discussion about it. It's not that long. So let's see here. Did it load? Hopefully it did. Let's see. Hold on one second. I got to do this the long
Okay.
way.
Well, in the meantime, you guys do
Sure.
not forget to download the African Diaspora News app. It's on Apple Store and Google Play. Also, you can go to africandiasporanews.org on the on the web and become a member there. That way, the revolution won't be televised. You guys can get great videos. Vicky Dillard, Brother Phil, Dimitri K, Wang Zell, all the contributors to the African Diaspora News channel where we can talk topics that affect Black people. So please don't forget to download and join the channel.
Yes, indeed. All right. So I found the video. So here it goes. This is what somebody filmed. So here it goes.
Grand and State is next. Doors open on the right at Grand and State.
So from what they're saying, that is predominantly homeless people, Black people that are sleeping there on the trains because it is very cold out there in Chicago. But they were making a point that there are homeless Black people sleeping on the trains because it's cold, but yet they in Chicago, the mayor and everybody else, and even the governor, Pritzker, they are spending all this money and putting forth all the effort to make sure that the migrants are taken care of, and that they are housed. And they said even for people who are migrants that may be living with somebody, they're also trying to provide for them so they can get independent, be on their own, and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. But more importantly, how do we help our own people? That's the conversation we need to be having, because clearly the politicians, the Democrats, whatever, because that's who runs Chicago, they do not care about Black people. And I would venture to say they don't care about Black people anywhere, right? But they sure did use Black people to get them in the office. And then it's a blatant disrespect to help everybody else while you have homeless people on the street. Now, I did look to see how much Chicago was spending to help the homeless, and I really couldn't get a good number. But from what I see, they said it's since 2021, there's about 70,000 homeless residents. I don't know if it's in Illinois or Chicago. I saw Chicago. I thought that was kind of high. So maybe, I'm reading it wrong. But one homeless person on the street is still too much, especially when they're allocating all that money to help people who, for whatever reason, should not be over here. So we'll have that discussion. Donovan?
Well, it goes to show you that they are intentionally doing this. It is a direct attack by the Democratic Party upon Black people. And yet you still have those people that will vote Democrat. Even though it is negative toward Black people, they will still support the Democratic Party. As a matter of fact, I believe what is that group? APAC or whatever, APAC, whatever, is actually funding candidates against Black Democrats to get them out of there. So Jaya Paul, I mean, the Democratic Party is telling you who they are, and they're actually going for it while they can to do all of this. So I'm not surprised at this at all. But then again, who's to blame for all of this? Who's to blame? We can blame the politician all day. You need to blame the voter. We got to stop voting color and start voting issues, our individual issues, not the group collective. No other group does that. The day of thinking because somebody looks like you, has the same color as you, that they're going to do for you, they've been showing us that for years, and that's not the case. So I blame the voter for not knowing who they're voting for. I've said it before, Dimitri, and I will say it again. The next mayor of Chicago will be Hispanic or of Latin origin. They got Brandon Johnson in there because he was a Black man, period. That is the only reason, and you get what you voted for. You got to vet these people. Stop voting identity politics. That does not work for us. You vote your own individual interest. Dimitri and I are totally different in how we want to see things. But as a group, that makes us a better voting bloc because both parties would have to work super hard to get those individual votes from us. So I blame the voter.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Uh it's definitely on the voter, because I mean, how many times do you need to see that the politicians, they don't mean us, especially as Black people, they don't mean us any good at all, right? Of course, they'll pretend. From what I understand, with Mayor Johnson, he was supposed to be looking out for Black people and all this other stuff, and he wasn't in there 2 seconds before he got the lion and taking care of everybody else, right? And so, as I said, I don't live in Chicago, but if I were you guys, I would do my best to either try to start a recall, which I know is expensive, or next time, he's up for re-election, be like, nah, don't even put your signs up, bruh. We're not going for it, right? So, but we see now that the residents of Chicago, they really have been awoken, if you will, to what is going on, and they're very demonstrative about not liking what is going on there. So, big ups to them. Renz, how you doing? He says shameful and sad illegals get and legal citizens get the got you. You can't make this make sense. Got you.
Hey,
And
can I ask a question for the listeners? Please show me a Black politician anywhere that has done anything for the Black community. I can't name a one. Show me a Black politician who has done anything for the Black community. You had a so-called Black president, African president, that looks like us, 8 years in office. He didn't do one thing. So please show me a politician that has done anything for Black people.
hello, Tammy Love. How you doing? Michael, you say, I hope that the Black Chicagoans stay warm. At the same time, they need affordable housing, rental assistance, checks, and protection. Yeah, but they're not getting that as much because they are giving it to the migrants, and they're really taking care of the migrants. And let's see here. Somebody said something.
Yeah, and I just want to acknowledge, Marion Barry, he was excellent for DC. I'm talking about right now, not the ones that have passed or whatever. We're talking about modern age.
I know what you're talking about, because I can think of a few, but I know what you're talking about. Brina, how you doing? Says the immigrants in New York won't stay in the shelters. They want to be in the hotels. Yeah. And that's what it sounds like is going on in Chicago. I think I heard, is it New York, that even for the hotels that was for the veterans, some of those veterans are being put out because the hotels can get more money to house the migrants. So that sucks. All right, so let's see here. RJ, how you doing? Says a lot of Blacks vote out of fear. Yeah, especially using Trump, right? Oh, Trump is coming back. If you don't, it's like, well, we didn't create Trump. Trump's not our boogeyman, but that's what they use. And I hate that we fall for it. We got to be a little bit more smarter than that, less emotions when it comes to stuff like that. Iron Will, how are you doing this fine evening? And Say, how you doing? Says the issue is that uninformed people are voting. Yep, I totally agree with you. G Chase, how you doing? Says Atlanta is not all Democrats. It's the white community trying to undermine the Black community countrywide. I know people high up in Chicago saying they are having meetings to bring in more people, or to bring in more people. So they're having meetings to bring in more people. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. They're doing it in the hopes that the Hispanics will vote for the Democrats, but they tend to be more on the conservative side. So it's actually kind of backfiring just a little bit for them. Black America, how you doing? He says if somebody is sleeping on the train, it's their fault. Okay. Yeah, okay. Urban Baked, how you doing? He says each state needs to list their Black politicians. If they're not working for Black vote, vote them out. Absolutely. Gotta go, because everybody else gets in office, they help the people, Yeah, Donovan, you crazy. Says Teflon Tiffany Henyard in Dalton, Illinois is running that city like Nino Brown. Mr. X, how you doing? Says Chicago needs to change their voting habits. Yeah, I think they're on to something now. I don't think they'll be voting same. I've seen and heard a lot of Chicagoans say if they have to vote for the opposite, they will, And that's also that message needs to be sent on the federal level, because we know the elections for president is coming up next year, and they're already starting to get out there, right, to talk to the Black people in the churches, and in the hot spots, if you will, to say, hey, don't forget, come on out there to vote, right? And RJ says we need to put pressure on these politics once they get off, make them be a man or a woman of their word. Yeah, I will say that about a lot of other communities. Is when they see that the people they voted for are not doing what they're supposed to do. They make them one term. They don't sit in there forever and ever and ever and ever. Hell, we saw not too long ago with the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy was in there for what, 2 seconds, and they was like, nah, he dropped the ball one
Yeah,
time.
about 8 months, and they got him up out of there.
Yeah, and next, so they didn't allow him to sit in a position of power. In their opinion, you're not getting the job done, right? So they went on to the next one.
Yeah, and you know what was funny though? He was pissed off, Kevin McCarthy, that they had the gall to take him out of what he says is his seat.
Well, they didn't like the job he was doing. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? Says peace and love, family. It's astonishing how the black officials in Chicago literally think blacks don't deserve ish while giving white Hispanics everything. How does he think this is normal? Yeah, because not that they think it's normal as much as they know black voters are apathetic. We don't really demand much. We're like, well, okay, or it's the name, we're going to go ahead and vote for them because they're black or whatever the case is, right? And we've been taught as black voters not to really expect much. If you get somebody that looks like you in office, that's a win. We haven't been taught that, okay, great, if they look like us, all right. Now, what matters most is not only that they look like us, but they legislate for us. And so we have just, allowed them to keep saying, well, next time. Okay, next time y'all get me in there. And next time never comes. And so those black
Maxine Waters.
Yeah. And those black politicians, they're starting to understand, okay, black people are sick and tired of it. They're on to us now,
Right. It was the civil rights era thing of black faces in high places. What's the definition of that? Symbolism. That's all it is symbolism. Oh, I see a black face, so I feel good about myself. That's all it is. But when the black politicians get in there, they are Democrats first. They're not black first. Thus, you have a Jimbo Clyburn who wants to down talk everybody else like we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what we're doing. Sheila Jackson Lee, another one. They know better than us. But at the same time, they enrich their families while everybody else is left behind.
Absolutely. So I see you all naming some people. Adam Clayton Powell Jr., of course, that was so long ago, but he was definitely for black people there in Harlem. Of course, they did a number on him to try to, dirty up his name toward the end. But Adam Clayton Powell Jr. was a real one. Okay. Pop, how you doing? Let's see here. Brina says, I don't want to pretend like I even know. Donovan, I've been too uneducated about politics in the past.
Yeah. And the sad thing is a lot of people have, and look at the result because we're not paying attention. This is what happens when you're not paying attention. How is it that these migrants could come here and within 5 years do better than black people? Ask yourself that. I mean, even if you're just a little kid, how does the Vietnamese kid who just got flown over here in the 70s can do better and surpass you within 5 years? The government gives them all of the resources that they need, but you and your family have been here since the soil.
Hello, Aaron. So, Mr. X, I saw your comment. It says, stop calling them migrants. They are illegal aliens. We cannot use that terminology here on YouTube for a whole host of reasons. So we don't use that terminology, but migrants work just fine. And that's why it's important too for y'all to go on over there to the africandiasporanews.org, sign up for the, it's actually not even a sign up, it's an investment. Invest in the app. And that way we can, speak a little bit more liberally than we can over here. But see, the problem with us is, and I hate to say it, but I love y'all. We complain about other people's platforms and what we can and cannot say. But then when we tell y'all we got platforms of our own, where I don't know about that, or I think about it and all that other stuff. And so it's like, as soon as we, build up enough people to over there, then, y'all won't have to see us on here as much. But I'm just putting that out there, africandiasporanews.org. All right. Damon, how are you doing? Says sending positive vibes to all in the chat from, are you in Norway? Oslo, Norway. Miss Can Donovan, what you doing over there? You normally in Southern California. RJ, he says, where I'm born and raised, we had one of the first black mayors in Gary, Indiana, Richard Hatchard, and he effed our city up, but damn. Facts Not Feeling says, I said it before and I say it again, the same corrupt black dictators who are running some African countries are the same corrupt dictators who are politicians in black neighborhoods. Yeah, you might be onto something. Elton, how you doing? Says Warren, they were just want to be acknowledged and I feel good. Sorry for the space in response. Okay.
Yeah, talk about the civil rights era people. They just wanted to be acknowledged. I want to be able to drink in a white water fountain. Hell with all that crap. I want to be able to take a dunk next to a white person in a public bathroom. That's what they fought for, recognition. They wanted to be recognized as men and women. But like Demetra always said, you got to be first recognized as a human being before anything else. But that's what they fought for.
Yeah. Michael, he says migrants prefer staying at the hotel over staying at shelters because they know that they will have control in their housing. They don't have to deal with rules and regulations. Yeah, I've never stayed in a shelter before, but I know people who have, and it is a lot to deal with. But it's like, well, I mean, you were sleeping on the streets before, you know. Now you want to say, oh, I want to be in a hotel. Well, me too, you know. Tammy Love, he says, I had no idea Donovan liked black what? Black cats. He has two black cats. So
no, one black cat in a tuxedo.
And that's all a tuxedo cats, black and white. Shiloh, how you doing? Says, can only city mayors be recalled? Information is so powerful. Methodology specifically. Let's spread the word on how and when recalls of city officials can be done by the people.
Yeah, and if you look at most of your state laws, there's always a mechanism to recall your elected servants. There's always a mechanism to do it. The problem is sometimes it takes a big number of people to do it when you got to knock on doors. What are those people called that are in front of Walmart always asking you for signatures?
Petition.
You know what I'm talking about? The petitioner guys. They want to.
Yeah.
Oh, we're trying to do this. They want you to sign that stuff. That's another way that they circumvent what the city council does or what the government does, and they say we don't want this. We want to change it, and they put it back on the ballot, and they try to override it. So there's always a mechanism. But unfortunately, the United States government is so corrupt on every level that all of these people work together to keep their picked hooligan in power. They'll do everything to delay it. You know, with 2 years to go, what's that guy, George Santos? There was a vote today to expel him today.
Is he gone?
No. They're going to vote on it Thursday. But it got triggered today. So they're going to vote on it by Thursday. But do you see how hard it is to get him out? Because he only has a 2-year term. So it takes so much time. But there is a mechanism at every level. There is a mechanism.
Yeah, they've been trying to get him out forever. I mean, he's done a lot of things. It's like, huh? And, you know, lying about who he is, what he's done, where he's been. And it's like, what's taking y'all so long, you know? But I guess maybe he knows something on them, which is why the votes keep failing, because it's not the first time they voted to get him out of there, but it failed. So what does he know? That they know he knows, and they don't want him to tell everybody, you know? Kadia, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Said that's why mail-in voting is so dangerous. Yes, there's been a lot of issues with that. Black, how you doing? And Lene, how are you? Says America wants to keep blacks as an underclass. Yeah, and we are already there. Unfortunately, Elton, you say
we are there. Believe it or not, we are there.
Mm-hmm. Elton said Marion Barry did some things right. Yeah, I mean, you know, sans a little cracky crack. You know,
but he did give government contracts to black people, brought in more black civil servants. I mean, he really did a lot of things, but of course, by him doing that, that put the white establishment on his ass.
Black America, you say migrants work harder than American people. Do they? Do they really? How so? I'm asking you, how so? How do you come to that conclusion? Because if they're such hard workers, I'm not saying they're not. Why don't they work just as hard in their own country to build it up? Why they got to come over here to a country that's already built up? If you don't mind answering that question. Okay. Let's see here. Thunder say Norway is absolutely beautiful during Christmas time. I bet. Facts Not Feeling says I get into verbal arguments with my parents about voting for blacks because they are black and not look closely at their policy. Voting black because a person is black is over. Better have a black agenda. Absolutely. Yeah, that we've been duped enough by that, right? Bring us as a community as well. Mexicans get here and they have people to provide and the carts and Asians scout out areas and keep a money pot to buy land in certain areas. It's called group economics. They know how to practice that where they come from and even over here, right? They say, all right, you're new over here, but we still have a commonality. How do we put what we have together so we can continue building, right? The more the merrier type of thing. So
And
that's
isn't it yeah, and isn't it funny? They come over here, and in Chicago and New York, there's prostitution going on, right? They brought the prostitution with them. Isn't it funny how the government is not enforcing and locking these people up for creating blades in those communities or in those neighborhoods? But if you did it or I did it, it's a crime and we're going to jail for years. But they're not doing anything to enforce the laws here in the United States.
absolutely. Fly guy, how are you doing? Says good evening, DK, Don, and chat. I hope all is well. It is. Donovan is sick, and I'm getting sick. Like my throat is on fire, but I'm gonna push through nevertheless. My daughter made me um a hot toddy. And I think she made it a little too strong. So we're gonna see how that plays out by the end of this.
Never use tequila. Never use tequila.
I think it's some bourbon up in there. I think. I don't know. Thunder, you say I met my first Norwegian when I was in New York. She was gorgeous, beautiful. She was half Norwegian and half black. Okay. All
That's
right.
that
Now,
American soldier democracy at work right there. That right there.
and Mr. X, you say mail-in ballots cannot be trusted. Honeydew says so. I was born on the south side, but I live in Philly now. All to say all those migrants gotta do is link up with the Chicago community and white community, and poof, black folks is already occurring. Yeah, and they got a lot of Hispanic legislators there that and organizations who are rooting for them. Like, hey, y'all got to get our people off the street, you know. So that's what they do. There's a commonality. Hey, you're our folks. We need to help you.
Well, what did Joe Biden say before he took office? You niggers need to get behind the Mexicans.
Well, he
Isn't
ain't
that
said that necessarily.
well, in general? You need to get behind the Mexicans. That's basically Hispanics. That's what he said. And guess what? He meant every word of it. Oh no, not Joe. Give him some time. He needs time. Y'all, YouTubers don't know what you're talking about. Joe Biden, no, he ain't like that. He's only been in office for 3 months. Do you guys realize Joe Biden did everything in regards to the promises he made to other groups within 3 months of being in office? Everything was done within 3 months. The Asian crime bill, whatever you call it, all that was done in 3 months of him being president. Black people have yet to get anything that he promised us.
Yes, James, you say we need a better selection of politicians. Let's draft our own and put them in place. That's true, but more importantly, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, neither party is for Black people. We need to accept our own and be ourselves, right? We need to do for self because that's really what every other community does. And I'm not saying that politicians don't help them out, but I think they help them out because they know within their community they actually have power. They know we have power too, but they know that all it takes often for us is symbolism to get us all excited, right? So while it is important to make sure that we elect the right people, we also got to start practicing group economics and start doing for self, which is considered to be one of the greatest threats to this country is Black unity. So the minute we realize that and we actually start acting on that, then we'll be able to make a lot of things shake and move for sure. MC Fact, how you doing? You say, look at all the politicians for their Black agenda. Yeah, do you have a Black agenda? Or are they going to tell you like Kamala did straight up, no, I'm not going to do anything just for Black people? You know, that she didn't even stutter. But you notice she stutters when it comes to everything else, though, right? But when it comes to, are you going to do something, a Black agenda, reparations? Well, I know I'm not going to do something just for Black people. Like she was crystal clear, right? If you didn't hear me, you playing it slowly so you can understand what it said.
Now, didn't they say they would meet with Ice Cube after the election? Have they met with Ice Cube yet?
No. Miss Ashlyn, how you doing? He says, I thought A1 was our replacement, but it's the Migrants, Demetria. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You say, Donovan, you look quite caramelicious tonight. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm gonna have to start my auction back. I was auctioning Donovan off, but it wasn't acting right, so I have to put it on hold indefinitely till he get his understand and rearranged. Okay, just smile, look cute, wave a little bit to the people. Okay.
Okay, wait. I will once I get over this Sasua announcement. I will. All right. Now I'm a little salty because of Sasua. Okay. Thank you, Demetra. I appreciate everything. And you know what? And Deanna probably helped you draft the wording.
Yeah, I had a nice little word with the prime minister over there. Hey, listen, okay, they over there acting crazy. I saw it myself, and I don't think you understand what is going on over there. So
Why should black men be happy? Why should they be happy?
I agree, which is why I did what I did. I'm just kidding because somebody will say, Mr. 619, how you doing? He says, I'm officially off the Democrat bread line. All right. Now he says, I will now vote for white supremacy on either side. I'll hold my vote until we get something for African Americans. Absolutely. Fly guy, you say, I'm getting sick again. I hope you all feel better. Shaking my head. Yeah, I think it's just weather. So, and I'm not really even around a lot of people at all. The gym, and my daughter, that's really about it. And so I don't know if it's just something in the air or what. Hopefully it'll pass because my throat hurts really bad. Honey, do you say, I haven't seen all the Chicago migrants videos, but are there any Chicagoans on the black side because they're Chicanos? I'm sorry. Are there any Chicanos on the black side because their neighbors borders each other and they should have the same argument? I don't know. And Renzi saying it must be a real hard getting free luxury hotel rooms, thousands of dollars in rent paid for them, et cetera, if you call that working hard. Yeah, that's why I was like, come on, Black America. Beverly White, how you doing? Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know how we're getting sick. I think it's just the weather. RJ says, bro, you say just go to Dearborn, Michigan. Them Arabs have their neighborhood sold up and running it. We can do that if we come together. Yeah, but who are their customers? Us. We are their customers. And all the people who don't look like us that come in our neighborhoods, they're not their own customers. We're their customers. And Farrakhan talked about that. He said they could set up shop, don't even have to advertise or nothing. And, we're their customer. We go in there where they give us horrible service, they give us horrible food or product and all of that. But he says, try to go set up in, Chinatown or somewhere like that and say, as a Black person, you're trying to sell egg foo young. I think that's how you say it. I see how much business you get from them. They wouldn't even allow you to set up in there. But in our community, yeah, we don't really have enough, a lot to say right now as to who can set up shop. But we do have a lot to say whether we go in there, right? We do, but we just go in there and don't think twice about it, and then we complain. And also, at the city council meetings is really where we should be going. We're too focused on the national election, which is cool, but the city council meetings, they have direct control over who gets to go in the neighborhoods, right? What type of stores, you're checking the cash, your 99-cent stores, your liquor stores, your this, your that.
Shops.
Yeah, all that other stuff. They don't put that in the white people neighborhood because they ain't gonna have it. But in our neighborhoods, they do it because, for one, we don't show up to the city council meetings. We are reactive, not proactive. But when the white people or the Asian, the Hispanic hear that some adverse is going to their neighborhood, they show up to the planning meeting and say, if y'all do, you will not legislate too long because we're going to get you out of here. But we'll show up when the weed shop, the sign is being put up, and we'll say, well, we don't want that in there. And they're like, well, too bad. You're going to get it and hold our beer because something else is coming in there next week. So...
Right. And if you ask yourself, where are the weed shops usually located in major cities? In the Black neighborhoods.
Yeah. So, but you also got to ask yourself why. Because they know that we're going to be their biggest customers. Let's keep them asleep. Let's keep them nullified. Let's keep them booted out of their brain so they don't they're not thinking rationally about anything. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want Black people to be thinkers. No, that's why we inundate Black people, whether it's the media, the weed shops and all that. Let's inundate them with the lowest hanging fruit. That way, they're not thinking about what we're trying to do to them or behind their backs and all that. Keep them talking about Sexy Red. Keep them talking about T.I. and, Blueface and, all the Kiki and her man, all the just the NyQuil for us. We got to be smarter than that.
Right. Where are all the strip clubs located? in the black neighborhoods, where anything that has to do with semi-negativity is in the black neighborhoods. Simple. If a girl, and I'm not trying to be negative tonight, if you're on Section 8 and stuff or doing all that other stuff, you're a single mom and you're getting a voucher or whatever, and you're taking the easy route, least resistance, you're working at the strip club, you could walk to it. Usually where the project was, the strip club was like a couple of blocks down the way where the girls didn't even have to have a car. They can walk to it. That's done by design. And you will never know that until you go to city council. Demetra and I were at a city council meeting. A lady named Miss Jackson came in. She was raising holy hell. But guess what? The vote happened 3 months prior. Where was she at? It's a little too late to come in here and holler and scream now.
Miss Jackson. That lady, boy, is a trip. I was like, wow, she's really mad. But, I loved her passion. But like you said, you should have been at the planning meetings when they was talking about putting that stuff in your neighborhood, But that's kind of our thing. We're too reactive and not proactive.
And real quick, I know you guys are working and you can't make the city council meetings. They do that by design, the hours of the city council meeting. But that's still no excuse, because you could email your complaint to your representative, to the mayor, to the city clerk, and get it on record. You don't necessarily have to be there. There's too many devices now to where you should be informed of what's going on in your city. You got the city channel, you got internet, you got all these things that are going on, and yet Black people sit there ignorant as hell, and then wonder why they're getting gentrified out of their areas. Sad.
Yes, indeed. OG, how you doing? He says the closer they get to the election, they'll start calling Ice Cube. And you know what? Ice Cube won't go. Ice Cube was like, I'm done. Y'all, ran me down, talked bad about me, and all kind of stuff. So he says, basically, I'm going back to what it is I was doing, which is pretty cold, because Ice Cube didn't need to do that. Ice Cube, his family is set for generations to come. But he says, I felt like it was my duty to put something together. Black people vote and don't have anything to show for it. Here's the Black agenda, Contract of Black America is what it's called. And he met with a whole lot of Black economists and put together. So it's not like he was taking pen to paper as he does when he's writing raps. He got some really good scholars and people said, hey, this is a plan. I read it. I read the whole thing and it's marvelous, but they thumbed their nose at Ice Cube, and a lot of Black people drug him to hell. You know what I mean? He took him here and there. How dare you? You must be for Trump. Just like a rabid dog would do, like red meat. That's how they did Ice Cube. So if I was Ice Cube, I would give them a finger, and y'all can decide which one that is. If I was Ice Cube, and let's see here. Mr. 619 says, what will it take for Ham Hawk Martin? I know you're talking about, to bring y'all on his show for a debate. I would say this. I don't think that Roland Martin wants to bring us on for a debate now, because what I've seen Roland Martin's debating style, and he's very knowledgeable about history, this, that, and the other, but he does a lot of screaming and hollering and all of that. But he will never debate people who will be able to pull his card and be like, yeah, all that stuff is nice, the history lesson stuff you're giving these people. You sound like the smartest man in the room, but why don't you ever address why the party that you are a lapdog of, why don't you ever address that, why they're thumbing their nose at Black people and doing everything for everybody else? He's never going to answer that question. He's going to loud talk, scream, all that other stuff, and throw a bunch of red herrings out there to avoid answering the question. So Roland, he knows better. As I said on Twitter, Roland knows better than who to bring on his show to debate. He bring the poo butts on there that really don't know much, and he can holler and scream, all that, but he ain't gonna bring no real live ones on there that'll eat his lunch. And case in point, Dr. Umar ate that man's lunch, dinner, breakfast, and every other buffet he'll ever sit down to. It was the most watched show I think that Roland has had to date. When he thought he was gonna bring Dr. Umar on there and dog piling with the other guests, Dr. Umar single-handedly, with one hand behind his back, ate all of their lunches. So I don't think he'll do that again.
Yeah, and real quick, on Twitter, Roland cussed out Demetra K, and he cussed me out in some things that we were saying. So he knows better. He knows better.
Yeah, he's actually blocked me. So, it'd be cute in theory. Norris, how you doing? He says, I think we're making ourselves a permanent underclass. I am mad as hell with us for not using the powers we do have. I give up. Don't give up just yet, brother. We need you in the fight. Don't give up.
Don't give up, because 30% of us are still doing well. And we have, it's very sad, but the 30% of us have a little bit more economic power than the 70%. So you need us 30% to try to right the ship. So don't give up just yet. We're not at wit's end yet.
Yeah, facts not feelings. You're absolutely right. It says black people love to go into other people's store and complain. It's disgusting. Yeah, they why you ain't treating me right? Well, why? First of all, why are you in there? Why are you begging them to take it? Take my money. I don't care how you treat me. Take my money. You the fool. You are the fool. And Uno, how you doing? He says, hi, Dimitri. Everything you're saying is 100% facts. Well, thank you, and welcome. All right, let's see here. Let me skip on down. Black America, you say black people use all those things, weed, drinking, hair, stores. Yeah, we use them, but if we're going to use them, it should be bought from our own people, not other people, right? We should not have our money going into other people's community. They don't invest in our community. They don't. So why should we spend money there? We can build our own. But see, the problem is when we have people, our own people that build those type of businesses and stuff, we won't go in there. We'll complain, let them forget give you a napkin. Then it's, oh my God, don't eat over there. But yet the other businesses, they can beat your mama up, sell you rotten milk and meat, shortchange you and cuss you out, and you'll go back in there tomorrow. In fact, this is how gangster some of those people are. They know they can beat your mama up in them nail shops or whatever beauty supplies, and they're not even scared of black men. Because back in the day, and I'm not saying all black men are like this. We know that brother Tyrone Muhammad is about that life, and I saw somebody said that he's running for Senate or Congress or something. Big ups to him. But they're not even afraid to do that to black women for fear of retribution from black men. Back in the day, they'd be scared to even turn the key again the next day. Like, damn, we did beat up somebody's mom up in here. We might want to let it cool off for a little bit. But they go back up in there, just coming back to work, turn the key and not afraid. But then the other side of that too is when you have your brother Tyrone Muhammad that, bricking their windows, right? Then the sisters get mad or mind your business and all that other stuff. So it's like, help him, help us,
Right. And a lot of that, when the sisters get mad, is because they're got daddy, in some cases, got daddy issues or whatever. Remember that one girl that was cursing all those brothers that were trying to shut the shop down? And she was just going off, some light-skinned girl, but you could tell she had some kind of daddy issues or something.
Thunder, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'll let the fellas answer that. Your average logical thinker says one day celebs are going to write a tell-all about all the proposals they received to create drama to distract people. I mean, they have fancy things, but records ain't selling. Make it make sense. Yeah, you notice a lot of celebrities or even blogs, the black blogs, they're even, you can tell, very one-sided. So it's like, are y'all getting paid to push this propaganda? Y'all was just talking about who Cardi B was, messing with a couple of days ago or whatever, but now y'all all off in the politics. Like, do tell, how much did y'all get paid to do that? So absolutely. And Mr. 619 says, I would pay to see Roland Hamhock Martin bring Philip Scott on his show. As I said, Roland knows better. He knows just who to bring on there and who not to bring on there. I'm gonna tell you right now, I bet you $1 to a donut. And if he does, I'd be surprised. He will not ever reach out to Brother Phil. He know better. He ain't gonna do that. Trust me. He know who to bring on there. And tear up on his show, and then people, yeah, get him, Roland. Oh, you really taking him to school? But Roland ain't gonna answer. Roland, can you explain why your party has neglected black people? Well, and I'm gonna tell you what Roland's gonna do. He gonna bring up something in the infrastructure bill and this or that or this or that or this or that, but not gonna tell you nothing specific. And he's not gonna answer as to why they are legislating for everybody else but black people. The group of people who make it possible for them to get in there whatever position it is, and we make it possible. But he will never answer that. He'll go on do, like I said, his red herrings and all the other things, and not answer the question and make it seem like he said something. But he know better. He know better. Let's see here. And Cutthroat, Naj, how you doing? He says Hamhawk isn't trying to debate anyone. No, he's not trying to debate anybody serious. Yeah, and RJ Dumar Johnson. Oh yeah, that was a classic. I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times myself from beginning to end. I mean, it was just a classic of how you handle people. See, Roland thought he was going to get a got you moment. He thought he was going, sucker punch Dr. Umar. Umar was like, first of all, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to like this? And then he got, see, what he did to Umar is what he did to me. Because I said, oh, look at Roland up here talking to me like an N-word on the street. And he's like, oh, I don't tolerate the use of the N-word. So he did the same thing to Umar when he said, call them, raccoons, for lack of better words. Oh, I don't allow that. But it's like you just allowed those people to talk all kind of crazy to him. You don't allow it because Umar is eating your lunch and you don't know what else to say. So now you're going to try to say, oh, you're hitting below the belt. Stop it. Yeah, but if y'all haven't seen that one, check it out. Angela, how you doing? He says Cube did his part. He doesn't have to do it all. Yeah, I mean, damn, at some point in time, we should help, right? Moni, how you doing? Says much Detroit love, Demetria, and my gorgeous brown sugar boo. Donovan, you can come to Detroit and keep me warm with some beautiful brown sugar anytime for Christmas. You know what? I got 5 on his Spirit airline ticket to get him there. I help him get in there. Let's start a fund to get Donovan over to Detroit so he can be booed up for the Christmas season with Moni. I think it's about time. Michael said, Demetria and Donovan, I read Ice Cube's plan. I agree with certain aspects, but I have some questions other than that. I was very impressed and excited about his plan for Black America. Yeah, it was really good. Fly Guy says, Roland Martin screams and cuts you off as well. I like that he's knowledgeable, though. Yeah, he's knowledgeable, but, you're knowledgeable and you're not answering no questions. That's
he's selective. He's selective knowledgeable.
Yeah, we don't care about who was president in 1872. We care about what the president in 2023 is or is not doing for Black people. But see, he won't answer that. Stephen, how you doing? You say hello, Demetria, and hello, Donovan. I love you two together on a subject of interest. Well, thank you, and thank you so much for being here. Miss Tiffany says Roland is a narcissist, you think? Mr. 619 says, I agree. He tends to bring on folks who can't stand up to him. Yeah, listen, one thing you ain't gonna never do is bring somebody on your platform. Like I said, Umar taught him a lesson he shall never and ever forget. It was a classic moment and that's when he was on TV One. So it wasn't even on YouTube. It was TV One. He brought him on the show. And man, when I tell you, Umar kicked his backside all the way in, it was a mess. And say RJ says, I respect, love, loyalty, understanding, family. My lunch break is over. Okay, well, don't work too hard. The average logical thinker says, don't give up before the miracle happens. So you're talking to Norris. Uno, he says, exactly the disrespect. You leave the establishment and take your money somewhere else and never come back. I have done this. Yep. And hello, Sagittarius goddess. Black America says, if Black Americans vote for Republicans, what do you think they will get? I don't think it's necessarily that Black people are voting for Republicans. I just think that because Democrats know that they cannot win much of anything without the Black vote, it's like, well, I may vote for somebody else, even if it's as a protest vote. I've talked to a lot of people who said that I don't necessarily like Trump, but I will vote for him as a protest to show the Democrats that you cannot just assume my vote and not do anything for it. You do it for everybody else, but for us, so yeah, I'll vote for Trump. Not a big deal to me.
Yeah, and if you think about it, the Republicans don't depend on the Black vote. So it doesn't matter if Black people vote for them or not. They don't depend on the Black vote. So if the Democrats start losing Black votes and some Black people start voting for Republicans, that's a plus for the Republicans. But it definitely will show the demise of the Democrats. They can't win.
Absolutely. Your average logical thinker says, I drove 50 minutes away to Baltimore to a patron, a Black-owned business. It was closed. Beauty supply open here, and they close more than open. If they open, just being honest. Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff, too, that we need to work on. We need to work on being more efficient as Black businesses. Black businesses cannot assume just because I'm a Black business that Black people are going to come to me regardless of how I treat them, right? That has to be fixed. Moni, you say, it's like politics with Tabitha. She brings up some good stories, but she's a diehard Democrat. I'm not for her, for neither, never voting for 45. And what do you think about that? Well, I mean, it's your right to vote for whoever you want, But as I said, a lot of people said they're going to vote for Trump because it's a protest vote. Thunder says, yes, you're right, Brother Don. We must stay focused. All right, so let's see here. Michael says, Donovan, a white Democrat, is a quarterback. He who needs his offensive lineman to protect him. He doesn't care if they get injured. He knows that he is not vulnerable to injuries. And Steven says, just like the folks put a side over 1+ billion for them migrants, but nothing for the grassroots. Absolutely. And they know that in the past they've been able to do that because they're like, well, what are black people going to do? They're going to get mad and then they'll be right back into the voting booth voting for us. So that's kind of our fault, right? Yeah, average logical thinker says that Umar Rowland interview was iconic. Yeah, it's Umar. He didn't even break a sweat at all. Facts Not Failing says, you know why they Asians not scared to come back to the neighborhood after beating up a black woman, because they know those same black women will be right back in the store and won't accept black men's defense. Yeah, that's largely true. I agree with that, and it's sad. I mean, we've seen it in real time where brothers have tried to defend the sisters, and the sisters are like, "Are you kidding me? They're having 50% off of wigs," you know. So yeah, it's like I said, you should rather be bald headed than to have a black man out there defending you and you standing in line to give them more of your money after they didn't, beat the hell out of one of the sisters. It's like, what's in the wig? Like what kind of wig is this? Shameful. Those will be the same ones too. It's, they get roughed up on the block and those same brothers stand around and say, well, I will help you, but the way you cussed me out last time, I'm gonna pray for you. Then you be all, talking about they stood by, didn't even help me. It's like, well, you can't just really pick and choose when you want help, So, Easy, how are you doing today? Yeah, I'm gonna give $5 toward Donovan's spirit ticket to get to Miss Moni.
I mean, come on, Spirit. You can't at least get me on Delta.
And what difference do it make? It's in the air. It takes off and it lands. I mean, I'm about saving money. Don, you say the criminal elite of Latin America are in cahoots with Anglo-Americans with replacing FBAs with Hispanics. Our black leadership just playing along, just as MLK was with integration or else. Absolutely. That's exactly what they're doing. And I often think of the big six when I think about what our black politicians are doing. They pretend that they care, but they're taking a lot of money on the side to just pretend, right? Going back to, that's what they told the big six, MLK and them, go back to your respective organizations and, rile them up, but not too much. We don't want them to disrupting business or, white life, but, let the Negro think that there is progress on the horizons, which is why you hear a lot about, these blacks, these reparation studies, or we're studying, like now you're starting to hear about all these studies in all these cities and states and stuff. And, it's going to take them a year, all that. That's the keep them comfortable, keep them pacified, keep them thinking that something is taking place, just not right now, but it's that hope and pray, that hope and change thing, right? Obama had going on, never was defined, but a lot of us ran around, it's the hope you can believe in. It's the change you can believe in. And we're still waiting for that. Angela, you say none of the neighborhoods were informed prior to illegal immigrants placed in their neighborhoods. I'll never stoop low to call my people an underclass, colonizers underclass for egregious acts. Well, so when they say underclass, there's more economics as far as, us are not having any generational wealth, for the most part. So I think that's kind of what it means. Not that we are a less than as a people. I think economics more than anything. Soto, how you doing? He says, I agree, sis. I ain't mad at nobody for voting for Trump. I'm for Dr. West or no vote. Yeah, and a lot of people are, voting for Dr. Cornel West as a protest vote. He won't win, but I get it. Thunder, you say Peter does sound like a nice destination. Okay, y'all talking about some other stuff.
Yeah, but Demetra, though, black people need to vote because our ancestors died so that we can vote. Could you please tell people the real deal on that?
Absolutely. Your average logical thinker. Thank you so much. We're gonna get together. You might be able to go on Delta. If we get enough money, we might be able to send you on Delta, one-way ticket. We ain't gonna be able to give you a round trip now, brother.
No, y'all put me on a Greyhound bus.
If we don't get enough money, you might be on the Greyhound bus, okay? It's my pleasure, your average logical thinker. So, of course, yeah, we always hear about how our ancestors died for the right to vote. They did not die for the right to vote. They died for us to get something for the vote. But that's never really examined that whole phrase, right? Our ancestors died. You are a horrible person for not going to vote. It's like, no, they want us to move the ball, regardless of what, whether we like what our ancestors did. As far as the civil rights movement, they did move the ball, right? But we haven't moved the ball since then. We just go in there and just vote just to get the sticker and say, I voted. I'm a part of democracy. All this other stuff. Great. What did you vote for? I don't know. I just voted all down ballot. Whoever was blue, I voted. Whoever's a Democrat, I just voted for that. Right. I'm going to stick out my arm. I'm going to take the infusion. I ain't going to ask what's in the infusion. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw that lady. Y'all know what I'm talking about with the infusion, right? She was calling it the infusion. She was, the white establishment put her up there on the podium and she stuck out her arm. I'm going to take but that's how we sound when we go say, I'm going to vote blue no matter who. I don't care who it is. I'm going to vote blue. And then you say, well, what did you vote for? Like, how's that going to help Black people? Well, the Democrats are the party of the people. Really? Well, what have they done for Black people specifically within the last, let's say, 2 years? Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying anybody better than Trump. Why? Why is Joe Biden better than Trump? Because Trump's racist. Is it not racist to create crime bills that disproportionately lock up Black people? Well, yeah, but you see what I'm saying? That's what you get. So those type of people, I don't think they should be able to go into the booth and vote. I think they should be banned from the booth until they understand what they're going in there doing. Let's see here. Lillian, how you doing? He says Chicago pastors let the legal trespassers stay at y'all church since y'all in your feelings. Chicago for real? So they stand up in the church now? Y'all show. I actually did a story about that. I don't think it's out yet. But a pastor in Chicago talking about y'all need to get behind Mayor Johnson there in Chicago and what he's trying to do for the migrants. And I said, well, y'all need to stop paying tithes. Tell the pastor I'm not paying tithes and offerings off the table. Since, and then I'm going to take that tithes and offering to help myself. I'm not helping no migrants and, to see what the church can, make it on without our tithes. That's what I would have said to him.
See, but that's why you're going to hell. You're going to hell because you're not a Christian. Christians, we're supposed to look at our brothers and help them and bring them up. I honestly believe, even though I'm a Catholic and I'm a Christian, for Black people, Christianity is our kryptonite because they use it against us to shame us, to do things and put other people above us. We are not Jesus. We are not the apostles. We are regular people who want the same benefits as everybody else in this country. We built this country and yet we do not benefit.
Absolutely. So Thunder say Spirit Airline stock price is about $10 a share right now. That ain't bad. And Bakari, you say, I totally agree. Okay, so let me skip down a little bit so that I could catch up. Quicks, how are you doing today? Damon says, signing out Black First Family. We'll catch up with you when I get back to SoCal. Have a safe flight and enjoy the rest of your time there. Mr. 619 says, all other races vote for their interests, even if they are split on the decision. That's why Democrats are continuing to work for their votes. Yeah, but the Hispanic communities traditionally, they're conservative, They ain't for taking out their babies and, all that other stuff. They for keeping their babies, and the Democrats, that's the kind of policies that they champion. So the Hispanics is like, well, thank y'all for getting us over here. We love you, but we're going to go and vote our interests now. So
right. Let me ask you this question, Demetria. Is the Democratic Party the Family Matters Party, the Family Values Party? Is the Democratic Party historically known as a family values party?
No, that's the Republicans.
Right, exactly. But yet we vote Democrat.
Right. And believe it or not, Black people are conservative in nature as well. We are, but they get us on the touchy-feely emotional things of Trump may come back into office. It's like, well, Trump was in office for 4 years. Was the country as bad as it is now? Now, I know it was a little MAGA stuff going on. They had a little insurrection. You know what I mean? But they take money out your pocket when you went to the grocery store. Did you see the like? I seriously cannot go to the store. I would say in the last couple of maybe month or so, I haven't been able to go to the store and not spend $100 each time I'm there. And before it wasn't like that. I could go in there and spend $50-$60 and get all that I need. But now it's like $100 a trip, and it's like, wow.
And you
We
get
ain't,
this little doggy bag as you go out.
yeah, it ain't even that much stuff up in there, and I'm not even buying meat. So it's like, what the hell? So, but seriously, when Trump was in office, well, sans the insurrection and all that other stuff, what did you have more money in your pocket, or does money not matter? Is it all about feelings? Because I'm gonna try to take feelings to the gas station one day and see how much gas I get. I'm gonna try to take it into Kroger and say, hey, I ain't really got a lot of money right now, but I got a whole lot of feelings. How much? How many grapes can I get with that? And they're gonna say, ma'am, security is the only way. Okay, we're gonna need you to escort yourself up out of here. Cutthroat says, I'm definitely doing a protest vote number 45. I'm a very petty person. Yeah, so a lot of people are on that page. MC Facty say, I keep hearing people bring up Cornel West, yet no one knows what his black agenda is. I've listened to the West. I've researched him. Yeah, I don't know if he has a black agenda either. I always hear him talking about everybody else.
Yeah, no, if you look at his webpage, he has no black agenda. It's an everybody agenda.
Yeah, so what it's like, Mr. West, what are you doing? Who sent you? What's really going on here?
And then another question is, Cornel West is what, 71, something like that, 72 years old?
70. Mm-hmm.
Where are our young leaders? Where are the young firebrands? How do all of these people that are our parents' age are still in power? It's crazy. And then if you are going to vote for Joe Biden, if you are, I want you to know this. I do not believe he will live a second term, which means Kamala Harris will become the president.
Yeah, Mrs. Tiffany, you say baby boomers will be the only ones voting for Biden. Yeah, and even some of them are waking up like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, this is a lot, because we see, I don't know if they're quite baby boomers, but especially in Chicago, there's a lot of elderly people out there leading the charge saying no more. So I don't know if they're part of the baby boomer class, but they're close, I would imagine, right? I guess I'm close as well. So, and oh, really? How you doing? Say, yep, our religion is crippling, very crippling. Miss Ashley says, do you think the migrants was also brought here so Biden can get their dedication and vote for the next presidential election for letting them come? Oh, yeah. But it's not working. A lot of them are very conservative, because they like money as well. They getting the money from the Democratic Party, but they want a party in office that's going to help them keep the money and get more of it. So, and Shirley, how you doing? Says Biden administration commits over 1 billion to migrants while committing zero to Black Americans. Yep, and bold about it, very bold. Like, huh? And even to this day, they need Black people to vote for them. They ain't said a peep about reparations.
Right,
But
and you got to think about it. Who controls the House? Republicans. So white supremacy has to sign off on that as well. The Republicans have to sign on it as well. Both parties work for white supremacy. Yes, the Democrat, because Biden is leading the charge, but notice he says, I want $1 billion for this. They all fall in line to give him the money, all of them.
DSB, how you doing? Says the same money the members putting in that church should go to the members of that church. Just they have emergency now. Nowhere in the Bible does it says God asked for money, right? Yeah, but the pastors are telling them they should get behind the mayor. It's like, no, we should not. In fact, we're going to withdraw our support from your church, because the church is one of the most lucrative places in the community, and the community is struggling. How? So keep your money. If it was me, I wouldn't be giving no tithes and offering to them. I'd be like, hey, times is hard. So I'm going to keep my money with me, because if you think about it, not all, but a lot of pastors, once they collect the money from Sunday, they go off to have a nice dinner with their family while you sitting at home talking about, let me rub these 2 beans and a piece of rice together, trying to make a meal. So yeah, keep your money at home until further notice. The average logical thinker says, the last church I attended, I stopped giving offering once I realized they did mission work in every country but African and Caribbean countries. Yeah, ain't that something? Michael says, Dimitri and Donovan, Black baby boomers say cash payment reparations for ADOS are great, but they are not realistic under President Joe Biden. We will support him over Trump. Response. I'm not shocked by that, because that's what they're doing. But we got to remember, too, the baby boomers are pretty much set. I think they're kind of the last stable generation to be able to buy a home and pay it off and, have a good cushy retirement, because they benefited from having the jobs where they didn't need to go amass a bunch of student loan debt. They were the generation that worked in the auto plants and things like that, and they were able to send their children to college and things like that. So I can see why they would say that, because they're more than likely not in the financial position that everybody else is. But after a while, they won't be able to vote. Let's see here. DSB says the church has become one big scam. Yes, unfortunately, it has. Yeah, spend $100 easy. It's like, golly, man. Back in the day, you would spend $100 in groceries. The basket was to the top. In the front, I got the front. Where you can put a baby in the basket in the front. That's full, and a small portion of the basket like that is full. And it's like, what did I buy? What's going on here? Now I would say, admittedly, I'm not one of those ones that like to go to the grocery store and buy cheap stuff. I try to buy organic stuff because you're gonna pay for it now, you're gonna pay for it later, type of thing. I try not to put bad food in my body with a whole lot of ingredients and chemicals and stuff. So that might have something to do with it. But even still, when I was doing that back then, I wasn't spending $100 to do it. So Aurelia says, sure are conservative and love our Black ancestor tradition too. Yep, Pamela, how you doing? He says, expensive to buy things plus gasoline. Yeah, y'all in California, y'all still at $6 a gallon for gas. Ooh, I sure would be on my roller skates, that's for sure. Yanni, how are you doing? Says, I'm so late. No, you are right on time. DSB says, I'm not voting at all either. Yeah, some people say they're not. Macy, how are you? And Monica, so you said hi to me to Donovan. He says, Donovan, you sound sick. What happened? Aren't you in the Dominican Republic? Did you catch something? Do you know they're on a campaign to reduce population? Be careful.
Not there yet, but going to the Dominican Republic, I will be feeling a lot better.
Yeah, don't catch nothing while you're over there, bro.
I will be legislating I'll be counteracting your legislation to shut down SASU and all that other stuff. And I'm going to talk to the prime minister and say, hold my beer, because we're going to keep this baby open.
You remember those jails on wheels that they tried to snatch me up in? That's where you gonna be, okay?
Hey, I want you guys to know Demetra does not support single mothers. That right there. She's not with the sisterhood. She is not supporting single mothers. I support single moms.
Is that what you're doing over there? Yeah. Timothy, how you doing? Says, I've seen homeless Black men feet get completely frostbitten and have to get both feet amputated here on the south side of Chicago. He was sleeping behind dumpsters in below zero temperatures, but yet they're doing all they can to make sure that the migrants are warm and snug as a bug in a rug, while we got Black men having their feet amputated due to the cold. It's awful. It is awful. And everybody who is making that decision, they need to go. And it's low-key criminal that you abuse the people of your city that you're supposed to be helping, and you allow other people to come in. And Black America, I remember your comment. You saying that it's their fault or something like that for being homeless. Yeah, it's some people who are homeless, it's their fault. And some people are just fell on hard times. And there's a plethora of reasons why people are out there. But if you're helping other people who have come over here and they're not really supposed to be here, then you should at least help the people who are here first. So yeah, they're homeless because it's their fault. Even if it's their fault, do they deserve to sleep on the street? Especially if they got all this money all of a sudden to help other people. But to hear that people getting their feet amputated because it's being frostbitten, it's disgusting.
What's sad is you go to their country and be a non-citizen and see how much support and help you will get. Zero. We've got U.S. tax-paying citizens that are sleeping on the street. That's a national disgrace. And we're putting people who broke our laws up in hotels above those very people. That's a national disgrace.
It is. Macy say, in New York City, the migrants have refused to go to tent cities. They're back in hotels. Why do they even have a choice? You can get back on the bus and go back where you came from, but we want hotels. I mean, hell, I want a hotel every once in a while too.
Well, I'm going to say this: in my city, I FOIA'd and publicly requested the status of the city. Are we a migrant city? Are we what do they call it? What's the word?
Sanctuary city.
Are we a sanctuary city? I think we are. However, what is the legal ramifications of that? because you guys got to understand, it's the federal government's job, not the states, to defend the borders, and these people come under that. There is nothing in the sanctuary city declaration that says the city has to use their resources toward these migrants. It's the federal government's job to do that. This is why Eric Adams keeps asking the federal government, we need the money, we need the money, we need the money. So in my city, I asked, what are the ramifications and the legal responsibilities that we have toward migrants? Now, remember, California, we've been dealing with illegal migrants for what, Demetra, 40, 50 years. So this ain't nothing new to us. So again, it starts at your local level. Stop worrying about the federal level and what's going on in Chicago. What you guys need to do is FOIA your city and ask, are you a sanctuary city? Because when the migrants start showing up in your city and you haven't done anything about it to change the legal status of your city, it's going to be too late. Again, we are reactive, not proactive.
Absolutely. Thunder says, if food prices are rising, wouldn't it be a good idea to start gardening in order to supplement our needs? If you were to start gardening, what would you grow? If I was to start gardening, and I need to, it's just certain reasons why I'm not doing it as of yet. But I would most definitely do some maybe romaine lettuce, some tomatoes. What else would I do? Maybe some onions, just to start, because I'm pretty basic when it comes to a lot of stuff. So I wouldn't grow stuff that I know for sure that I wouldn't eat. I'd probably do some bell peppers too. I like bell peppers. So stuff along those lines. But definitely romaine lettuce. Let's see here. Black America, you say they can't even vote in this country. Why do people think they are a voting bloc? Well, the migrants can't vote, but Hispanics that are citizens, they can vote. So they are a voting bloc.
Right. And you got to, and see, and here's the thing, and you bring up a good point, Black America, but you see, you're worried about the people that are here now. We're talking about the tethers. They can't vote, but guess what? The next generation can if they're born here. That's what we got to look for. Like I said, again, proactive versus reactive. Trump, when he was in office, put out a thing to get rid of automatic American citizenship. That might be something we might have to visit, just because if you came here illegally and had a baby, maybe you shouldn't be an American citizen because you came here illegally. So that's another question for the Supreme Court or whoever.
Absolutely. Hello, Brother Reggie. How are you? And I see some people saying that they are baby boomers and they're not voting for the Democrats. So, yeah, a lot of us are just waking up. Average logical thinker says Black America has a great point. I wonder how many vote from unregistered voters, felons, and my immigrants get counted. Where there's some places that felons can vote now. So let's see here. Janice, how you doing? Says, it said I need to speak up about Black femicide rather. I speak up about it all the time. Now, I'm not one of the, and I've never seen you on here before, so welcome. I'm not one of those people, I say content creators that belabor one side or the other. I'm one of those people that say that Black men and women need to be kind to each other, because just as much as there's a Black femicide, there's also, Black male side. There's Black women that take out Black men as well. We know that crime is about proximity. Now, is that actually a thing? I don't know. I don't know enough about it to say that is not, but I know that it goes on both sides. So, if it's something I need to do, I do it all the time. But I'd love to know what you're doing about it. But I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. But thank you so much for joining us. Let's see here. Moni says, but don't forget about the same time we had a massacre with that thing. This is the same man that wanted to eliminate Obamacare that helped so many be able to get their teeth clean, get them repaired. Okay. MC Fact, you say, look up executive Dr. Cornel West on reparations 2023. Please research. Okay, we'll do. Let's see here. Oh, really? It says, how sad and discriminative to not help the homeless. Shaking my head. Very much so. Mr. 619, you say we can't even get qualified immunity. You think the black pastors and leaders would have a problem with this. Nah, they getting they palm greased. They get a little white envelope slid to them, so that they have their own agenda that they are actually working on. It just does not serve their congregation as much. Janice, she says, sometimes we don't take advantage of the perks. We have black men are notorious for burning bridges, especially with their children. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on, Janice. But over here, we don't. We're not one-sided. I know that there's a lot of content creators out there. I'm gonna fix my mic because it's gonna get to acting crazy. There's a lot of content creators out there that sided. They talk bad about black men or they talk bad about black women. I'm just not one of those channels. I'm about the unification of black people. So yeah, we're not gonna do that tonight. Let's see here. The average logical thinker says Donovan Candace Owens did have a point when she scolded blacks that don't even have a valid ID.
Are you highlighting the questions? I don't see them on the banner.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Here you go.
Well, yeah. Again, everybody has some form of ID, be it a state ID, a driver's license, a college student ID. You could use that in some cases. So this whole thing about ID is another distraction to get black people riled up about, oh, it's racism not to let people vote. Again, I'm not saying that the election was rigged, but Democrats are notorious for stuffing ballots. It goes back hundreds of years of this country. John Kennedy, they said in Chicago, became president because the mobsters stuffed the ballots there. So, we really can't discount some of the rigging that has gone on. Look what the Democrats did to their own Bernie Sanders when he ran. They stuffed the ballots against him. They rigged the election against him. So everybody has some form of ID. So I don't see why everybody's getting upset. Nobody's stopping you from voting if you want to vote. Nobody's doing that. Please point out a polling place where they're stopping you from voting.
Michael says, Dimitri, do you know how to cook Nigerian food because you are part Nigerian? So I'm Black American. I do have in my DNA Nigerian, if you will. But I am Black American. No, I do not know how to cook Nigerian food, but I would love to. I'm trying to think if I've ever eaten Nigerian food before. I might have. I know that I've eaten Ethiopian. Donovan, obviously we've eaten South African because we were there. But was there Ethiopian food, that one restaurant that was right across from where we were staying? I know it might have been. Don't get me to lying. I think it was. I think it was Ethiopian. So I hope that helps. Lene says Hispanics generally vote Republican. Yeah, they're very conservative. Absolutely. Janice, you say rarely do black women kill black men.
Yeah, Janice is a bot, a troller.
Yeah, because I'm just
trying. I went to her page. She's got 1 subscriber. She's a troller.
And I would say this too. Sometimes people, it's very rare. They'll want me to speak out on one thing or the other, but your voice work. Your voice works just like mine. But like I said, and I've always said this, I'm not into the mess of what some would call the manosphere or the divestors. I'm not in that. I'm not in that at all. I never will and never have been in dividing black men and women. I'm one for unifying black men and women. See, I know there's a lot of content creators on here that got some of y'all heads so messed up into thinking that the black man or the black woman is your enemy. And I sure hate that for you. But that's not the case. And a lot of these content creators make you think that somebody else's man or woman would be better for you. That's not the case either. Because we read a lot of stories about things that are adverse happening to black men and women with, being with somebody else's man or woman. So as they say in the nation, accept your own and be yourself. Now, do we have issues in our community with one another? Sure. But it's something that we need to work on. But I would never, ever be remiss in thinking that I'm going to go and be with somebody else's man and get better treatment. That's just not going to happen. So let me skip down here a little bit so I could catch up. I'm just reading a comment. Harold, how you doing? Says tuned in from Cincinnati. How are you doing this evening? Okay. Michael said, Demetria and Donovan, what's your opinion about Bill Clinton said, I apologize for the prison industrial complex. I underestimate the policy provision. What is your response? Was you going to return some of that money, if not all of it, that you made off of housing black men and women disproportionately in those facilities when it came down to your crime bill? Are you willing to legislate or help somebody, since you're not in office, I know, but you still got a lot of connections? Are you willing to tell them, hey, open up the gates of those prisons and let those people out that are unfairly in prison? See, all that apology stuff is just words. It's not action. If you're really sorry, then change your actions. Try to fix some of that, but they're not interested in that. But the other thing is, they know all they have to do is tell black people, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? And we'll say, yeah, well, sure. Because I remember when you was on Arsenio, you played a mean saxophone. And, Toni Morrison even called you the first black president. And we all ran with it. So
my response is actions speak louder than words. Cut the check.
Today. And as Shirley says, our people will vote for the Democrats back in for what? Now I definitely see what self-hatred is. And that's exactly what it is. Denise, she says, black men are the strength of the community. If they don't act right, there will be no change in the black community. So I agree with you on that. But the black woman got to get in line with them and act right too. Because as we talked about too, there's been a copious amount of brothers that have tried to help black women, especially when they got their asses beat in those nail shops and those beauty supplies by the Asians. And then all they had to do was put on a 50% off sale, and the sisters lined up around the block to get that. Even after one black man by the name of Tyrone Muhammad there in Chicago caught a case, but trying to, stick up for the sisters that got beat up in that salon. And so, yeah, the black man does need to take his rightful place in the community and lead it, but the black woman need to get behind him and shut her mouth sometimes and say, all right, what's the plan, man? Whatever it is you got going on, I'm gonna do it. But see, the problem is, and y'all see, I'll be trying not to go there. I'm sweating. I don't know why. It's like 55 degrees here. The problem is sometimes is some of our sisters don't know when to say when. You don't know when you got a good thing going on, you see some of these brothers really trying to do the job, you don't know how to shut up. You hard-headed. Hard-headed, got too much to say. You think you the boss, you think you in control. And I'm not saying that you not or you less than, but sometimes you just need to button your lip. What are you arguing for? You see somebody trying to do something right, say, all right, sisters, the rest of y'all, be quiet. We got a good man. He's leading the way. He's leading the charge. Tell the hen house to button it up. See, sometimes we got to learn how to button our lips. We talk too much. So while you talking about what the black man needs to do, and I'm only giving you this admonishment, as I give this admonishment to the brothers. We got the sisters. Y'all go get the men. We need to stay out of each other's business. See, Janice, you on here talking about what black men need to do, but I ain't heard you once say what black women need to do. How are you an expert on men? And I'm assuming you a woman. How are you an expert on men, but you ain't said nothing about what the women need to do? That's why I doubt your sincerity. I think you just in here throwing rocks and just aimlessly throwing rocks. Because what's your purpose? So let's see here.
Mike.
Touch my. Sorry. I'll take it over for a second, Donovan. Let me fix my mic.
Right. Yes. Now back to Sasua. No, go back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but we don't mind a discord, but we're not that channel. But at the end of the day, black men and women, we need each other. Yes, we have problems. Yes, we have issues. At the end of the day, we promote togetherness because we are in the fourth quarter. We're on the 5-yard line. We need to make a touchdown plus a 2-point conversion just to tie the game, okay, to get into overtime. So we're not with that, men need to do this or women need to do that and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, regardless of my toxic masculinity, I am aware that I need my black women to stand with me or we will perish.
Absolutely. Sorry about that. Nora says, how can we counter these voter ads that will be coming down the pipe next year? Any idea? just have knowledge. Just have the knowledge that combat it. You know that they're going to target. You know, especially if you listen to urban radio, they already at it. You know, talking about you have all the Democrats on there talking about the Republicans and all that. We know they're going to do that. So just have the knowledge to combat it and say, yeah, okay, whatever, and don't pay it any mind.
Well, Dimitri, I got a question for you. You're going to have these celebrity folks come out and speak. Your girl Cardi B came out and said she ain't supporting none of that. She said, "Don't come to me for nothing." What is your take in regards to celebrity endorsements?
Well, you know, Malcolm X said it so many years ago. You know, they'll bring out the black entertainer, comedians, athletes, or whatever to speak to us, but no other community looks to their celebrities as leaders. They do that to us because they know that but see, it's all by design. They got us in the feel good center, right? We like to be entertained. We like the entertainment aspect of everything. They know if they sell us entertainment, and we'll be happy with that. And so if it comes from a Cardi B, and back then it was a Sammy Davis Jr., Eartha Kitt, and people like that he was speaking of. Maybe have people like Cardi B, who's has a large platform, says it, then she'll probably get enough people on there, especially young people, to vote for them. But we should not be looking to them as our leader. Hell, the people who say they're our leaders is not even our leaders. So how is a celebrity gonna be our leader? We need to dig into the books and get the information ourselves, right? Test to see what they're saying is true. I mean, even on the Breakfast Club, Biden went on there and told black people, we don't vote for him, we ain't black. And he still got in office. William, how you doing? Says Biden administration is causing problems that black people are fighting each other over. Yeah, and it's all by design, right? All of it. I mean, even, you know, I don't know. We're just so distracted, you know. We know more about what's going on with Diddy than we do what's in the White House, you know. Is it important? I guess to some degree. But how are you well versed on Diddy and you're not well versed on the politics, even in your own city, you know?
Right. You're over here taking firsts and seconds on Big Mama's house that was gifted to you, and you lose the house during gentrification, and you don't know how to handle it. You don't have a plan, and that's always been our problem. We do not have a plan. We live day to day, survival mode.
Okay, so Raw Sports America, how you doing? So you said Chicago does not have a recall statute. So if that's the case, and you have to wait until re-election happens, but you would think that Brandon Johnson would look at what happened to Lori Lightfoot. She was a one-time, and that's the first time it's happened in 40 years that she was a one-term mayor, but he got right in there and didn't waste no time lying to black people. You know, so it's like, okay, maybe
if you look at Lori Lightfoot, when she was a mayor and not worried about re-election yet, she was saying, oh, the police, the crime is low. She was saying all of this stuff to make you look the other way. And then when election time came up, she started changing her tune. Oh yeah, crime is up. I want to do this. I want to do that. Immigrants and all this other stuff. She just started changing her tune to get elected. But think about it. If she did get reelected, what do you think she would be doing as mayor? Nothing any different than what Brandon Johnson is doing right now. And we got to stop blaming Brandon Johnson. This is not a Brandon Johnson problem. This is an attack by the Democratic Party on black people. This is a Democratic problem. He is a member of the Democratic Party. He inherited this. So we got to stop saying Eric Adams and all this other stuff. We saw what Biden is doing to Eric Adams. When we talk about weaponizing the justice system, what do you think that is? All of a sudden, he's getting investigated. Brandon Johnson is not the problem. It's the Democratic policies against black people.
Yes, indeed. Your average logical thinker says, Dimitri, you're speaking Black America's language. I bet he's smiling ear to ear right now. You know, it's not necessarily Black America's language per se. I always say, as a Black woman, I think I'm in a better position to check Black women. I'm a Black woman. I don't think it's appropriate for men who do not have the rapport with women to do that. As I always say, it should be the men worried about men. Check the men. We're gonna get the women, but yeah, sometimes it would behoove us to just to button our lips up a little bit. We got too much to say. You know, sometimes we just do, you know, and you know, just be quiet. You know, as I always say, back in the day, women were asked to be meek. Meek don't mean you weak. It just means that you meek. You know, you quiet. You absorbing what's going on. You're taking in, you're observing, and all of that other stuff. That don't make you weak. Actually, I think it makes you stronger to be able to withhold your mouth. And I'm speaking to myself too. It makes you stronger to say I should say those things, but you know what? I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna just listen a little bit or whatever. So I hope that helps. Brina, he says, you're asking for a fight when you try to check somebody, though. Yeah, but as I always say, check the people you can. The people that are near and dear to you, your homegirls, your daughter, the people who will listen to you. Because a lot of times, whether you're a man or woman, we know people who ain't acting right, and we won't say nothing to them. And you have the resume to be able to say something to them, and a lot of times we just don't. We give them a pass or whatever, but if you really love somebody, you're going to tell them they on the wrong path. And if they never speak to you again, at least you did your job, right? So I hear what you're saying. And Rodney Brown, how you doing? Soto, he says, that brother using the football analogy, do you, D, okay? Adia, how you doing? He says, hey, Dimitri Donovan, I agree too, is always better than one. We are better together than separate. Yep. We need to cut it out. That's not feelings. You say, I don't care one thing about what celebs say. Yeah, I mean, they're getting a check to say it too. Mrs. Tiffany says, Bill is full of ish like the rest of them. Absolutely. Miss Ashley says, Cardi B, not my leader, is propaganda payola. Absolutely. Michael says, Demetri, Bill Clinton said, Black people are asking too much because I provided them with equal opportunities. They should not complain too much because the economy was in the 90s. Because of the economy in the 90s, well, I think anybody who's got a loved one, and I think all of us know somebody who was doing time on a 25 to life bid, they have the right to complain because it was bullcocker what he did. So Bill Clinton can't tell us what we got the right to do. He don't speak for us. So Soto says, I'm not saying entertainers can't speak on political issues, but if you're a celebrity, you better have a long track record of fighting for Black issues. Yeah. Or at least with Ice Cube, he was like, here's a contract of Black America. I'm asking somebody to look it over or whatever. He says, follow it if you want. But the way Black people did him was horrible. Elton says, as the BA, the TBA was
Banner.
Huh?
Banner. Put the banner up.
Oh.
As TBA would say, the code is the leader.
Who's to be TBA?
The Black Authority.
Oh. Let's see. Bawana, how you doing? Says, how come we didn't care? The Black Chicagoans were sleeping on the train since migrants got there. I think you raised a good question, but I think it now that is an issue, we should care because now we know that they have the money. Typically, cities or whatever will say, "Oh, we don't have the money. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna do it," but they came up with all that money all of a sudden. So yeah, now that y'all found the money, go on and help the Black Chicagoans first. So I think that's really what the issue is. I don't think that people didn't care, but now that we see that the funding is there, it's like, well, great, get Black people off the street first, So I hope that helps. Rodney says Illinois state government passed a recall bill a couple of years ago. Okay.
Yeah, I thought they did. So just you got to look. You got to really dig deep. It's probably there.
Yeah. So I don't have any knowledge about that at all. Mrs. Tiffany says Biden needs to pick a rocking chair, sit it out, and enjoy his grandkids. I would think so as well. Big Rich, how you doing? Says, hello, everybody. I have a question. Does anyone know what the 2025 project is supposed to be? I'm hearing a lot of reference to it. I have no idea about it. First, I'm hearing of it, so I guess I'd have to look into it. Don, says Cornel West is being paid to go in as interference, same as Barack. Yeah, because it's like, what are you doing, Mr. West? What's your angle? In the average logical thing, it says my second cousin boomers inherited their mom's house in San Diego. Their hubbies passed. Now they live together again in beautiful San Diego in a paid off house. San Diego is beautiful. That is prime real estate, and the house is paid off. I hope they keep it. Don't sell it. Rodney says Adam messed up, and Johnson should stand against this BS in Chicago. Nah, he probably getting paid very handsomely to do it. Yanni says, we are the only community that kills our own because talking too much. Yeah. The average logical thinker says, I agree, women should correct women. Yeah, and men should do correct men. But, like I said, often, sometimes, women want me to, help divide black men and women. I'm not going to do it. It's not, I don't care how much money I'm offered to do it. I would never do it. Never. Because there's a price to pay for doing that. Believe it or not. Brina says, let your ears be bigger than your mouth is what my aunt told me. Yeah, I've always heard you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. That's because you're supposed to listen more. So, Nora, she says, it's very hard to get my people to open their eyes on voting. I think it's impossible. The brainwashing is so complete. Yeah, some people just will not change their mind. They'll continue voting the way they, think that they should. But, don't give up. Al, how you doing? It says the best math you can calculate is the future cost of current decision. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we all should be doing. What is it going to cost me? The decisions that I make now, what's it going to cost me in the future? And as we see now, especially with voting, the way that we have been voting as Black people, look what it's costing us. It's costing us everything.
And much less costing us, what's it's going to cost the next generation? We are the only group of people that put all this debt on the next generation because we're going to be checked out of here. So when we go out here, we got to think about that. Not just us. What is this going to cost my kids or my grandkids? Think about that.
Absolutely. Facts Not Feelings said, Cornell said he will not drop out. Yeah, so it's like, what's going on, man? Why are you holding on so tough? You're not going to win. You're just not.
Right. But the thing is, by having a third party like that, notice that whenever a third party rises, both of the old groups attack it. RFK and Cornel West is predicted to peel away 12% of the Democratic voting base. Now, remember, I told you guys a while ago, if Joe Biden loses 20% of his voting base, he's done. He is already at 23%. So it is projected he will not win re-election if he goes up against Donald Trump.
So that should also tell you what a lot of those lawsuits are about. I mean, what's he got, like 90-something lawsuits or something like that? It's like, come on. Has anybody in the history of the earth, the universe, had 90-something lawsuits leveled against them? I guess they're probably figuring something's got to stick, right? But I think they're seeing to a lot of Americans are like, okay, well, we don't really like Donald Trump like that, but clearly, the system is being used against him, and it's not right. It should not. The DOJ should not be at the behest of Biden. They're supposed to be an independent department, but is it working that way? And I think that's really the question. Michael says, Dimitri and Donovan. Bill Clinton says, I am a moderate Republican because Republicans told me that I was moving too quickly. I had to make a deal with them. Bipartisan politics was needed. Well, if he did say that, and I take your word for it, that also further proves that the Republicans and the Democrats are the same people. They just have different names.
Right. He might be a moderate Republican, but he's 100% white supremacist.
And that he is, So let's see here. Michael, you say, Dimitri and Donovan, both of you are too smart for me to debate the merits of tomorrow. What's tomorrow? And Moni says, it's buzzing pretty bad, sister. Okay, yeah. So how long was it buzzing?
Not long. It's a couple seconds.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, when it touches my skin, it does. I actually need to get me a new mic. I just keep forgetting to do it. Maybe I'll do it a couple of days coming up. Oh, really says the American citizen want more choices on who to vote for. Yeah, it's slim pickings out there, really, And Don, you say exactly. If you're Black, dare you to go to Latin America and fall on hard times, right? And see how much assistance you'll get. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Black America said, when is Trump going to court? Let's get this over. And him in jail. Yeah, it's all kabuki theater. They hope that something will stick, but he still got jury trials, and the jury does have the say so. And they, especially in places like Georgia, are they going to get a jury to convict him? So that's still a factor as well. Facts Not Feeling says Trump is looking at close to 100 years in prison. Holy talk about corruption. I always knew the legal system is corrupt, but damn, this takes it to another level. Yeah, I mean, Trump is what, 77 years old or something like that, 78. I don't think he got 100 years left. And listen, let me tell y'all something. I don't know a whole lot, but I know damn well they're not gonna put Trump in nobody's jail, because if they thought the insurrection was bad, wait till they put that man in handcuffs and talk about he done got convicted on something. Yeah, right.
It's the same thing as Richard Nixon. One of the main reasons Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon is the damage it would do to the country. The country is so divided that it was better to pardon him for all crimes, future, past, and whatever, than to put him in jail. And that's what they're going to do. When they pardoned Nixon, that started the era of unaccountability for our elected leaders. That started that era.
Absolutely. All right, so let's see here. Michael said, Donovan and Dimitri Donovan, Donald Trump says, I have a check waiting on Black America. Please call me, because Joe Biden does not care about you guys. He knows how to be charismatic. Oh, absolutely. Ren said, Black America wins. Old Dixiecrat Joe getting indicted and going to jail. And Fast Not Feeling says, not 100, 1,000. Ooh. Buckhorse, how are you doing today? You fell asleep cooking? I hope you didn't burn the house down. So somebody just sent me something, and I want to kind of close this show on this. I'm going to ask y'all opinion. I do not mean to start a fight or anything like that. It's just a question that I have. So this thing says, a black woman says women should not wear bonnets around their man. That is so ghetto. What is your thoughts on that?
All right. A woman reflects her man. We all know this. You're a reflection of the man, just like the man is a reflection of you. That's why I love the movie or the TV show Everybody Hates Chris. The mother was always, my man got 2 jobs. I don't need this job, right? Because she was proud of her man that she didn't have to do all this. When a woman wears a bonnet and a man, it says nothing about it, it reflects who he really is as a person. Now, do I think it's appropriate? No, because there's a time and a place for bonnets. That's almost like these people walking around in their pajamas, going to Walmart and places like that. There's a time and a place. So again, that reflects the attitude of the man.
So, Brina, I'm wondering too, because it says around your man. So I don't know if that also means in the house. I'm assuming maybe it means in the house, or in the bed or whatever. So Donovan, you're saying you don't want your woman to wear a bonnet, not even in the house?
No. If she's in the house, that's perfectly fine.
Gotcha.
But in public, absolutely not. I want her to have her shoestring attire that I bought for her here and the eye patch here, and we're good.
Wow. I mean, yeah, definitely outside. I don't think I'm starting to see men wear bonnets outside, and I'm wondering, have we gone to hell and back? I don't know. I have. I'm starting to see men wearing bonnets, and I'm like, I mean, I was in a mall once, and I saw 2 men in a bonnet, and they had on like little nightgowns, like night shirts. Now, obviously, they were of the rainbow tribe, if you will, but nevertheless, they was out there looking like somebody's grandma, in the mall. So yeah, outside of the house is definitely a no-no, and I'm just saying that's for me. I would never be outside with a bonnet on. Now, I'll wear a hat if I don't comb my hair. I even have a beanie, but it's fashionable. I can wear my earrings or whatever with it, but I would never be outside with a bonnet on. I think it's classless. And listen, I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about nobody else, okay? It's a no-no for me. But as far as wearing a bonnet around a man, be in the house, I'll tell y'all this, okay? I don't wear bonnets. My head gets hot, okay? I have a silk pillowcase, so I don't wear bonnets. I don't even have a bonnet. But I'm from the old school, if you will. I know women back then, they might have wore a scarf or something like that. They try to be as appealing to their man at all times. Although I get, if I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna put my hair up. I might put a scarf or something on like that. But I think, you should be as pleasing to your man as possible. You're wearing a bonnet, at night, you have the bonnet on, you will mess your hair up. But when you get up, comb your hair. You're wearing a bonnet around the house all day. You got your night clothes on all day, which means you ain't washed your ass all day. I'm just saying, I like that's the kind of stuff I think about when I see that kind of stuff. When I see people in public with pajamas on, first of all, I don't walk in the house with my shoes on. My the tennis shoes that I exercise with, I come in through the garage, I leave them outside the garage, and I take my shoes off at the front door 99% of the time, right? So when I see people out in public and they have their house shoes on, I'm like, you're walking through the dirty parking lot. You're walking all over the store and you're sloshing them around more than likely. And especially when they're wearing the fuzzy ones, it's like you tracking all that dirt on your shoes. And then you're going to walk into your house on your floor, on your carpet. Now, I used to work in sanitation. So what I'm about to tell you is 100% true. You've walked outside where people spit, people's dogs are, and urine. There's a lot of stuff that's outside. And if you were to do a sampling on the bottom of your shoe, you would pick all of those germs. You would see remnants of all of that. Now, take in mind what I just said. You're picking up all that disgust. And if you go into a public restroom, which is I hate to do, right? I'd rather have my bladder explode than to do it, But if you go into a public restroom, people are probably urinating on the floor. You got your shoes in there and you're walking through and then you're going back in your house and you're dragging that in your house. Now, unless, there's some people who shampoo their carpets once a month. I don't have any carpets in my house. But when you do have carpet, you should shampoo them every once in a while. My brother, Walter, that dude is a germaphobe. He don't even have carpets no more. He took them all out. But when he did, he shampooed them once a month. He had his car because he just, can't walk in his house with shoes on and none of that kind of stuff. So what I'm saying all that to say is when you outside in your bed clothes, you ain't washed your behind, you ain't combed your hair, you're sloshing around outside with the bed clothes on and shoes, and you're walking all through your house with that. God forbid, you got babies that are crawling on the floor. Now their hands are touching all of the stuff that you tracked in from the house. And so it behooves you to get dressed for the day. Get dressed for the day. Take your pajamas and your bonnet off, even if you ain't going nowhere. You got a man. I'm not saying I got a man around right now, okay? You got a man around, he leave to work or whatever, you go to work, you come back, or he come back. It's my dad. This is the advice from my daddy, okay, who is almost 80 years old. He said, don't no man want to come back to the house and see his woman in the state that he left her. He don't want to come back to the house. She got her night clothes on, her bonnet, her hair's all over the head, and she ain't washed herself up and nothing like that. Because what he's been seeing outside of that house is women who smell good, who look good, and all that other stuff. And that becomes more attractive to him. So if you wear a bonnet around your man and he likes it, that's between y'all. Me personally, maybe a scarf or something, but a bonnet, and definitely I would not be having it on all day. That's just me. And that's the best I can put it. Now I know some people probably got mad, but I didn't mean to make it mad. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. I'm just trying to skip down. Okay. Thunder says American Airlines $12, JetBlue Airlines $5. In case anyone's interested, I'm have to look in that. I do have ability to buy some stocks. Fact My Feeling says if a woman is wearing a bonnet around me, she better be inside the house. She better have some baby oil on with some heels or something see-through. So she's got to distract you from the bonnet. Yeah, I mean, do you need to have the bonnet all day on in the house? I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see. I really said the bonnet looks is hideous outdoors and indoors. Yeah, have it on as much as you need to. But Nora says, Dimitri and Donovan, love listening to you. You have taught me how to connect many dots about what's going on. Well, we love and appreciate you for that. Soto says those ain't real men. Okay. Black America says, I like to pull hair that took off, please. Oh, so you're saying you like to pull hair, so take it off? How hard are we talking? I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. Mike, how you doing? And Brina says, I have too many hot flashes. Same here. I sweat my head. Bonnets would just cook me all together. Oh, really says the bonnet is a bad look and not sexy. Yikes. And Mrs. Tiffany says bonnets are for bed. Yeah, for bed. When you get up, take them off, comb your hair, whatever you need to do, right? But I see them in the gym. I see them at the grocery store. I see them just like... I just know that my mother and my grandmothers would never. They wouldn't, you know. And I really have, taken a lot of teachings from them. And I would never be outside with no bonnet on. Just I would not, especially when there's a hat as an option. And I'm natural, so sometimes it takes me a minute, to get my hair together to do something to it, whatever. But I still would not be wearing no bonnet outside. I don't care how cute it was. I would not be doing that. Your average logical thinker, he says, I saw a bonnet at my son's doctor appointment. She smelled like weed. Took good the weed too. Good effing grief. Yeah, it's like yikes. Let's see here. Fly guy said, laugh my ass off. And Al says, so many people are in Crocs. What do you think about that? I have a pair of Crocs. I wear them in the house. I wore them outside a few times, like, just really quick. I don't really like Crocs for myself because they remind me too much of a house shoe. And so I like I said, I have a pair for the house. If I'm outside taking the garbage out or something like that, I don't like them as a fashion statement for myself. I might like a little more put together look.
Real quick, when we were in Japan, was that not a staple of the country to remove your shoes?
Oh yeah, then yeah, they provided you shoes that you can wear in the house, but no, you do not wear shoes in the house. But as I said, if you think about the nature of what's on your shoes, and then you're walking in your house, it's pretty nasty. If you were to do like a sampling of it, or you would be grossed out to see all the bacteria and germs and
the bio,
things like that. Yeah, the bio that's on your shoes. You ever see people outside and they spit on the ground?
Right, or they're at the park where the dogs and the animals are using the bathroom. That's why that's why when I see people at the park running in their bare feet, I cringe.
Yeah, because they call that grounding, but it's like, man, this ground that you running on is toxic. It ain't the ground back in the 60s, Soto says, I used to work in the medical field, and since then I never wore shoes in the house again. I got a bit of a germaphobe too. Yeah, I won't say I'm a germaphobe, but I like a clean environment. And yes, I don't always walk on the floor in my house barefoot. I have house shoes because I just don't like the feel of bare feet on the floor. But I do like to know that I'm not walking on stuff that I tracked in from outside. So I just kind of been like that for a very long time. No shoes in the house. LB, how you doing? I'm not kidding. Or am I kidding? Oh, you talking about how hard you pulling the hair? I was kidding. For real. Patty, how you doing? Says, I wear silk bonnet right before going to bed. My husband has never had an issue, and we've been married for, so it's to each his own, but I'm sure you're probably not walking around the house in it all day and outside and all that. As sisters, yeah, we have hairstyles sometimes we don't want to mess up, so I totally get that. Angela says, black people take off their shoes when they get new carpet. Yeah, and keep them off. You want to keep them keep your carpet sanitary. You're sitting on a dirty carpet and all that. You're tracking up a lot of stuff, and it's really disgusting if you really think of the nature of it.
Or you're at your big mama's house, and that runner moves, and where the runner was, it's lighter than the area around it.
Right. So you can see, right? The grandma had the runner to protect the carpet, and she pick it up to get it clean. You see the dirt. People tracking your shoes in. So I just prefer not to do it. And even when I go to people's houses, I take my shoes off, and they say you don't have to do that. And I'm like, you sure? Because I don't mind taking my shoes off because it's a habit for me to take my shoes off when I come into the house. So I don't know. And Brina says, and we wonder why women would rather be alone. Yeah, trust me, I get it. Sometimes I look pretty crazy, but I'm by myself. But when I leave up out of here, and there's a show I watch called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and it's set in the 50s and 60s. And there's a scene with the mom, her and her husband, when they go to bed, like back then, they had two separate beds, right? They allegedly slept in two different beds. But when it's nighttime, the mom, she's got her hair, still done and her makeup on, and she's, in her night clothes, and she lays down. She waits for her husband to go to sleep. And then she runs to the bathroom and she washes all her makeup off. And she's got all this cold cream and stuff still on her hair. And then she rolls her hair up and she puts her scarf on. She lays back down. And then she sets her alarm like an hour or so before he's going to wake up. She goes to the bathroom and she, combs her hair and puts her makeup on. And then she goes to lay back down. So she's making him think she always looks like that. Now, I know there's some women who used to do it that way because they never wanted their husband to see them disheveled. Now, obviously, that's a bit much, but I think the point is, not only look your best for your man, but look your best for yourself. I love looking my best for myself. So I get it, though. And I really said Crocs look crazy and unprepared. Yeah, that's what I said. I like to be a little bit more put together when I go outside. Crocs, I don't have a problem with it. It's just not for me outside. Soto says, bonnets remind me of the Jerry curl bags. Oh, man. Y'all remember when Negroes was running around with them Jerry curl bags on? I was like, what are you doing? I'm keeping it moist. Yes, Brina, a lot of healthcare workers wear Crocs. Buck Horse, you say, Miss Queen K, how long does it take you to do your beautiful hair? It depends on what style it is. It doesn't take me that long. Maybe about half an hour, just depending on what I'm doing to it. It's kind of on the floppy side now. But my hair, as y'all can see, it's pretty long. I have a lot of shrinkage on my hair, so it just depends on what style I'm going to do to it. This takes me about a half an hour or so. Let's see here. O'Reilly says same bacteria in levers, public door handles, escalator, handrails. Yeah, I always keep hand sanitizer in my purse.
Well, when you're going to the gas pump, nothing but germs. That's why when I see people that are not sanitize their hands after they put that pump back down, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, you always got, especially the pandemic, I think taught us a lesson to always be keeping your hands clean. You're touching, like you said, door handles, rails, and things like that. I always keep hand sanitizer in my hands, on my purse. And, I'm always trying to keep my hands clean because I'm one of those people, which is why I don't wear makeup on my face, because I'm always touching my face and that kind of stuff. And that's how you end up getting sick. So, the average logical thing, it says automatic shoes go in the closet and wash hands upon entering the home. Yeah, because you've been outside amongst everything else. Come in the house, wash your hands, take your shoes off. Yeah, and get clean so you can be back in your environment. See, I'm one of those people. When I come home, I always take my clothes off. I'm just comfortable that way. Now, I'm not walking around here naked, just so you know. But I take my outside clothes off. Depending on what it is, I hang them back up. And then I'll put in my inside clothes, whatever that may be, some shorts, a t-shirt, or something like that. Just because I'm more comfortable that way. And Brina says, I'm kind of tired of people who don't do my hair every day telling me what to do with it. Oh, yeah, no, most definitely. I get that, especially being a natural. Like I said, you're natural. It takes you some time. And a lot of times people say, well, you should do your hair. You should be a natural. It's like, do you know what it takes to be a natural? I wash my hair every Thursday, okay? Every Thursday, because that's my kind of right. Now that's supernatural, right? Cue ball head. I wash my hair every Thursday because that's the kind of day I'm not really doing much, going anywhere. Wash it. I really look like buckwheat around here, right? I wash it, I twist it up. Donovan has seen me do this a couple times when we get off of here. I'm like, man, let me take this band off. Let me twist my hair up. And I'm sitting here twisting my hair up as we're talking, and it dries, until I comb my hair again. But I'm a natural, so I don't have any chemicals on there. So I have to stretch my hair out. I have a lot of shrinkage on my hair. So depending on how I'm wearing it takes work. Now, if I was just to have a perm and braids, they tear my hair out. So I can't wear braids all the time. I'm just not built for braids. And really nobody is, if you were trying to keep your hair and a lot of tension. So there's a lot going on to be natural. Trust me. If I could wear a perm, I know perms are bad for you, seeping in your body and giving you cancer and all that other stuff. I probably would like to do that, but it's not optimal. So what do you do? Michael say, Dimitri, did you experience weird stares in Japan? I can't recall if I did or not. I didn't, because I wasn't really paying attention to people like that. So I didn't notice. Now most of the Japanese people I know is minding their business. They're on their phones a lot. So
yeah, they're on their way to where they're going. They're not even paying you any mind.
Yeah, your average logical thinker says real men don't mind a bonnet at bedtime. No, I would agree with that. Gerard, how are you doing today? He says also the rain spreads the bacteria and germs all over the ground. Yeah, don't walk in the house with y'all shoes on. Don't do it. If you got carpet, clean your carpet once a month or so. You know, I know it's expensive, but you can go to the store. You could get one of those rug doctors, or they even sell things that you could just, do it yourself. But please, don't walk in your house with your shoes on, because you'll be surprised of the stuff that you pick up. I have they're not wood, they're like ceramic floors, and you got to mop those as well. Ali says, I read that Taraji Henson will be playing Tammy Terrell in a biopic. Well, she sure looks a lot like her, so I could see that. And Tammy Terrell, she has an interesting, sad story. She really does.
I'm David Ruffin, bitch.
Right. And then she was dating James Brown as well, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
He, at a young age.
Yeah, they said she got roughed up pretty bad by a few of them, Aurelia says, looking glamorous to bed, ain't nothing wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work to do that. Your average logical thinker says every run across a runner turned over on the spike side. Yes, my grandmother had that, and it was flipped over, and it tear your feet up if you was barefoot. Patty said, one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone has the nerve to ask me to take off my shoes in their house. It's filthy. Mind you, I always take my shoes off, but the nerve, if your house is filthy, I'm probably not going to come in there too much. That's just me. I'm weird like that. If I see somebody's house is filthy, I might, like, my skin crawls. You know what I mean? So I try not to be a part of that too much.
Demetra, the worst thing you could do when you go into somebody's house is take a blue light and run it over their couch or on the floor. I mean, it will gross you the hell out.
Well, yeah, I told you I have a sanitation background. I worked in the sanitation department in Frito-Lay for 13 years. And we used to have to do it's the blue light, but I forget the name of it. And we had to run it over our equipment to make sure that there were no microbial things on there still. So yeah, with that blue light, which is for forensic departments use it a lot to see if they can find blood and semen and stuff like that. But I saw a show on the news, and they went into hotels and they ran that blue light over the bedspreads, and they was like, ew, you'll be surprised what's on those bedspreads, because they don't change the bedspread often. So if somebody's in there getting busy in the hotel, then their stuff is still on there, and they don't change it every time. So do with it what you will. All right, so let's see here. He had a Jerry curl bag. Thank God that trend has gone out. Donovan was on. He had his Jerry curl bag on with his military uniform. Under his major hat. He's like, I don't care, Uncle Sam. I can't let my Jerry curl just get dry like that.
No. But I did have my little curly top, high top fade with the curly top. Yeah.
Yeah, with that S curl, you kept S curl busy, didn't you? It's like Donovan's coming. We got to pump out a lot of more S curl.
Remember in Coming to America where he was introducing the parents and they had the wet spot on the couch? I was like, they were so wrong for that. They are so wrong.
But they was right though, because there's a lot of people with Jerry curls tore up a lot of people's furniture for no reason at all. They had no business going to people's houses with all that Jerry curl juice dripping everywhere, messing up coats and all kind of stuff. Members only jacket had the little spots all over it and stuff. I ain't lying, because we seen them. The members only jacket material is kind of like silky, and then some of that ready for the world of curls or whatever drop on the coat. The whole coat is just trash, is ruined.
And depending on what kind of curl you got, what brand it was, you could wash that jacket and the stain would still be there because the chemicals were so strong.
Oh yeah, it wasn't going nowhere. Okay. Facts Not Feeling says, wait, did I just hear Demetra say she take off? I do. I just stepped away from the computer and missed that. No, I do. Who doesn't take off their clothes when they get home? Like, when I go out, I like to dress. So I'm not going to be walking around my house like that. So I take the clothes off and I put on something that's a little bit more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to slip into something a little bit more comfortable. It's usually some, sweats or some shorts or a t-shirt, or a tank top or something.
See, but the sad thing is when women say that, men, we think we're going to get lucky. We think we're going to get lucky.
I'm slipping into something more comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you gonna get this moo-moo?
Or that big T-shirt. You gotta
This
lift it up.
this chicken frying dress. Yeah, I'm wearing the chicken frying dress to bed. I'm wearing it around the house. Okay. Yeah, I bet you gonna, it's the same. No matter what I wear, it's the same up under it. Okay. Use your imagination. I'm kidding, of course. Michael says Japanese people consider you a celebrity. Do they? I don't. If they do, that's news to me. Uh, all right, so let me see. Let's wind it down here. Nora, she says, I remember when Donovan said he ran for office. I wish he had black politicians who thought like he thinks somebody with balls, not the punks we have now. Oh yeah, that's why Donovan ain't in there, because you know he was about that life. Easy. You got your thumb up. Yeah, the UV light. UV light. Yes, run that
Yeah, the
UV
UV
light
light.
over stuff. If you ever get a
Yeah,
UV light running over your carpet, you're gonna be
yeah,
grossed out.
yeah. The funny thing is, you guys, when you do run for office, I honestly believe people do run for office for the good intentions initially, but let's be real. There's a certain way things operate, and I'm not saying you have to take the bribe or whatever, but if you want to get things done, it's done a certain way. And I believe that you could work within that group and make it happen. But it's just like now, we never see the Congressional Black Caucus speaking out. They don't speak out when Black people are murdered. They don't do anything. But let the Jews need this or this group needs that. They're the first ones on the front line for those people. And I'm going to tell you this: if you ever decide to run for office, you guys cannot be thin-skinned. And I'm going to tell you straight up, they will dig into your background. So if you have stuff that you don't want to be put out there, that is not the forum for you to do it. The best way, and Demetra taught me this, the best thing to do, what saved me was I was in the military, and there's a law. Any type of discipline that is done in the military, that is sealed in your military records. All they could do to look up my background is to get my course of discharge. Was it honorable, dishonorable, whatever, administrative, whatever. But they cannot release any criminal or whatever. That was the only thing that saved me, because when I ran, Dimitri, remember, they were digging up stuff on me and they couldn't find it. And it was like, because I was in the military all those years. But you can't be thin-skinned, because these people will dig out stuff. And the best thing to do, and Dimitri had told me this, is if there is something out there, don't run from it. Run to it.
Yep, beat them to it. Truch, and I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, I understand hotels that pets are in, but why do people let their pets sleep on their bed? If pets go outside, they collect parasites. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, because I know it's a sensitive subject with pet owners, and I'd rather
Not my animals. My animals don't pick up stuff like that, and if they do, I wipe off their paws as they come in.
Right. So I don't have pets, and I don't have pets for that reason. Not a pet person. I think they're cute. Hey, Fido. Hey, Fluffy. Hi. I think they're cute, but they're not cute for me because, like I said, I'm a bit of a germaphobe too, and I know what pets do. They're outside. They're running around. They're going to the bathroom and all that. Unless you're wiping them every which way but loose. Every time they come in the house, yeah, people let their pets sleep in the bed with them. That's all. I don't really have a lot to say. I'm gonna tell you this.
I don't let my animals sleep in the bed with me. But when you're unconscious in your sleep and the dog jumps in the bed, what can you do at that point? You're in a dead sleep.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I'm just saying, for me, I ain't no pet sleeping in the bed with me. They're not gonna sleep in the bed with me. They're not. And listen, I'm sure there's a lot of good men out there with pets. And I'm sure that there's a lot. But I wouldn't be with a man with a bed, pets in the bed with him. Talking about, move over, my pets are in the bed. No, I'm the only kid.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this.
Wait,
I lost a lot of relationships over my dog.
I bet you did. I'm the only kitty cat in the bed, okay? Only kitty cat in the bed is mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But, no shade to anybody who does it. It's just not for me. Respectfully. Okay. Hey William, how you doing? It says pets carry corny virus. You know, what's a corny virus? Whatever it is, I don't want it. And Albie, you say love conquers all.
I think the
And
person meant coronavirus.
oh, oh yeah, I heard that. They carry a lot of stuff. Um, really says, tell the truth and shame the devil. And and Zay, how you doing? You say, hey, Queen Love, how you glow. There is a brightness emanating from you. Keep the journey real. Well, thank you. I love and appreciate you for that. And welcome. Let's see here. Brina says, we know who does that. Who? William says, you can't be kissing the dog, then kiss them. No. You can't kiss your pets and then kiss me. Listen, I don't
Well,
want
guess what? I won't be kissing anything else then.
You damn right you won't. Okay. You will not kiss your cat and then kiss my cat. I'm just no, you won't be doing that. That's probably why I'm gonna die alone. I hate to say it. I probably will.
Right, but here's my thing with pets. Like I live in the desert. I think it is a shame when you see animals that are chained up in the backyard or in the front yard, like there's some like ornament or a slave. To me, it's just very, very cruel. If you can't let that dog run in your backyard free, I mean, you got the dog in a prison. Why even get it? Yeah.
Yeah, I see that a lot out here, and you say you can wipe the paws off, but chiggers still collect up in the hair. What the hell is that?
See, but what you know, it also depends on what environment you're in.
What's
See,
that?
I live in a desert environment. It's an insect. I live in the desert environment, so we don't have a lot of things that they would have in the South, where there's a lot of greenery. So we don't have a lot of that, those problems.
Yeah, Jay Will, how you doing? You about to get in trouble now. You about to get in trouble. You say pets in the house are just nasty and unclean. Listen, I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna say it and forget it. I personally don't have pets because I'm like that too. I'm not saying that they're nasty and unclean because I know we get in a lot of trouble with these pet owners. But for me, I'm speaking for me. I don't want pets because I don't want them in the house. And I agree with Donovan. It's messed up to have them outside. So I wouldn't want pets in the house because I'm weird like that. I'm weird. And I know like with cats, you can't say, hey, cat, don't go over there. They're going to do what they want, right? So I just for me, yeah, I like my environment just a little bit more on the sanitized, And I know pets leave hair everywhere. And one time I went to a friend's house, not this friend here, Donovan. He's actually on the weird side because you go in his house, you don't smell pet smells. Donovan, he's a neat freak too. He vacuums every day and all that. So Donovan's, really clean. But I went to a friend's house. She had this dog, this real hairy dog. It was real hairy. You sit down, get up, hair everywhere. I was in a car one time, sat down and got hair all over me. One time I had dog hair on my plate, and I was like, no. So that's why I'm kind of weird like that.
Yeah. I mean, one of my cats loves Demetra, and Demetra just totally rejected him. Totally rejected him.
They could be trying to scratch my feet up. Yeah, so to each his own, Brina says, I don't like that either. I love dogs, but they have to be trained. Yeah, but getting in the bed, hell to the no. My younger brother and his family, they have a dog. She's really cute. But they take her to the what do you call the groomer like every other week. When I say groom, I didn't know they could do stuff to like their buttholes and all of that kind of stuff and the teeth and I like the dog get the ears. They get the dog gets the works. So yeah, still not for me.
My dog just had ear surgery, $700 for one ear, and I'm telling you that dog has a better health care plan than I do.
Yeah, Renz, I've seen stories like that too. Dogs kissing people in the mouth and they end up losing their limbs. I've seen that too.
See, but you also got to take in the context of that. Okay, if you hear these stories like with renters, because you guys don't go out there and deal with the yard. See, like I have my yard, I converted it to a desert landscape, right? So I don't have a lot of chiggers and insects in the desert landscape. So my dog is not going to be exposed to certain things. But I notice some people, they don't take care of their yard good enough to where you can stop those things from happening. People just think, oh, I just got a yard and it's a big thing. If you're going to get an animal, it takes a lot of work to keep them from getting diseases. It takes a lot of work. And a lot of people, unfortunately, y'all don't put in the work. And that's why, yeah, the dog is nasty. You go in a person's backyard, they haven't picked up the dog doo for weeks, months. I pick up my dog doo every day. Yeah, I do it every day. It's part of my routine. I just got to go out there and pick it up and do what I got to do. My cats have a litter box. I clean the litter box every day. It's just something I got to get up and do. A lot of y'all don't do that. And thus that brings in a lot of bad bacteria into your homes because you're not taking care of your yards and you're letting the dog just do its business.
Months. That's so nasty. That is really gross. And that's, I'm not cleaning up after no animals because I get very grossed out by it all. I'm just never been built to withstand that stuff. But anyway, no shade to people who have them. Brenda says, have y'all seen those people who let their dogs lick their babies and kids in the face? Yeah, I have. And
yeah, and you also got to remember, if let's say you sanitize your house where there's no germs whatsoever, you're still going to die because you need bad germs as well as you need good germs. So you got to have a balance of that.
I get it, but yeah, I get you. I do. But anyway, Don, you say 3,000 for my dogs. $3,000.
Yeah, for $3,000. You got to have that insurance. Insurance will pay.
Cost you. Got you.
Yeah, that would have paid 80%. I'm very sure Don's got the insurance, but yeah, they charge you all this money. Read your average logical thinker's comment.
Donovan, you want to take her on a coffee date, but spend $700 for a dog ear, make it make sense. Yeah, Donovan, he's wild about his pets.
My dog has her own credit card.
And his cats.
Yep, no lie. I mean, because, okay, put it like this. If I went overseas and I left my dog with Demetra, which wouldn't happen, but let's say I did. You've got people, let's say the dog got hit by a car, and you got to make a decision right then and there. Is it fair that Demetra has to go into her pocket to try to save my dog? I can't armchair quarterback her, so I get the credit card so that if something happens to my pets, they can make the decision without having to contact me and do the best that they can.
Right, talk about shit. Your dog got hit by a car. I gave it some Robitussin and put some Band-Aids on it. Well, I figured you'd be back soon. I didn't know they was gonna die.
Right. As a matter of fact, that actually happened to me. Remember we were in the DR and I got that call? No, we were in Costa Rica. I got the call. Yeah. And I'm like, what? What are you calling me for? I'm in Costa Rica. What can I do?
Donovan was freaking out the rest of that trip. He was so mad about his baby. How dare them do my baby like that? That I would never treat their animal that way. He was messed up the whole trip. I was like, well, damn, thank God we're leaving in a couple of days because he was pissed off. Yeah, average logical thing, it says, me and my bonnet wearing neighbor let her pit bull crap in my yard, and she said, let dogs be dogs.
What's the big deal? That's an irresponsible owner right there. That is the problem with these animals. That person is probably one of those people that will breed animals and then try to sell them. And then when the animal can't sell whatever, she lets the animal roam and then the animal gets destroyed because it's born. That's the type of mentality that we don't need as animal owners.
I was going to say something, but I don't want people to call the Humane Society on me, but her dog would do that in my yard one time, and she'll find out what the big deal is. Nora says, I have had dogs outside, but I was devastated when they died. Can't go through that anymore. You become too attached.
Well, your average logical thinker, you might not believe this. There's a national cemetery 2 miles down the street off the highway where I live from our Air Reserve base. If something happens to me, my dog, Belle, she's going to be buried in my casket with me. That's going to be in my provision. I'm going to take my dog with me because she is an airman with benefits.
What if she ain't dead yet?
She'll just wait till she dies.
I was about to say, you're going to do it like the Egyptians. Everybody coming. We ain't ready to go yet. It doesn't matter. We need you in the afterlife.
No, wait. That's where the cats come in. Dogs are useless in the afterlife. Cats are the guardians of the underworld.
Your cats don't look like they play that. Your cats be like, over my 9 lives will I go with you, okay? So anyway, Buckhorse says, ooh, yeah, credit card foils. The average logical thinker says, I left a credit card with caregivers when I deploy, so I get that. Why skimp on a date with a human if you spend crazy money for an animal? Loyalty?
Because my animal is unconditional, loves me, whatever, and then that animal ain't gonna order a $300 steak and not give me no booty. See what I'm saying?
Wow. Truch, he's saying tigers are like mites. They crawl up underneath your skin and live. You see little red dots right under your skin. If you watch it long, oh my Lord.
Remember that show, Monsters Inside of Me? Watch that show. It talks about things like that.
It moves. It's
under your skin, it goes across your eyeball, all kinds of stuff.
Oh God. Oh my God. I'm creeped out now. Buckhorse says, I guess all dogs go to heaven before you. They might. Now I'm grossed out. I am. I'm itching. Now I'm itching. Patty says, I'm a dog lover too, but I believe they do not belong in my bed. Oh, hell to the no. On the couch, either the bed, the couch, none of that stuff. No, I'm good. But God bless you, pet owners, for real. But me, can't do it. Donovan to tell you, I don't even like dogs jumping on me. I go over. Donovan's got a really friendly dog, and she likes to jump on you. I'm like, no, Belle, no. My daughter, she loves it. Everybody, but me, I'm like, get your dog. Get her, get your dog.
Everybody loves Sweet Belle. Everybody loves Sweet Belle.
Cecilia says, Biden has to go. I just spent $19 on a chicken. I worked almost an hour to make that right. Absolutely. $19 for chicken. Yeah, it's a wrap. So anyway, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Be back here tomorrow. As y'all know, Walter's, he has not gone on the greener pastures. Like he's still with us. Walter just, he's doing him. He'll be back one day, I'm sure. But right now, he's doing what he wants to do in life. Donovan, I don't know if you are more than welcome to come back with me tomorrow if you like. I know Donovan's getting ready to go to Sasua, where they have shut things down. So he's going to truly be going for Bible study this trip. No shenanigans for you out there.
Well, I do want to say, a lot of you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. A lot of you guys have your own YouTube channels. I want you guys to check out Your Average Logical Thinker. She has a channel on YouTube, and she talks about probably a subject you guys might be interested in that might be different than ours, but she kind of talks on a lot of different levels on different subjects. So please go check out her channel and subscribe. And this is how we keep the thing going with these conversations. We support each other in some of the shows and the topics that that might be relevant to what you want to hear. So go ahead and subscribe, become a member over there. I did, and I'm telling you, it's great to hear a different perspective, because this woman over here just shut my paradise down, and I'm not happy about it. I think I'm going to need some therapy.
I did not shut his paradise down. I did what needed to be done. Okay, I went over to Sasua, and I didn't like what I saw. I saw a lot of whoring going on over there, okay? And I saw a lot of men who looked like they might have been married. And I didn't think that was fair to their wives. And so what I did is I got a delegation together, and I said, sisters, we must shut this down. They're having a little bit too much fun over here on the strip. I mean, Sasua, okay? They need to really be over here fellowshipping amongst the brothers, talking about how to strengthen the community and being in prayer. And hollering, oh God, because you messing with the women in Sasua does not count as a prayer. So you'll be fine. You'll get over it. I know it hurts right now, Donovan, but you'll be fine. Trust me, it was for the betterment of society. But he will be over there.
Fellas, do not bring these women with you on these trips to these areas. Avoid these areas. So now I know I cannot take Demetra where men have unlimited happiness. I will take her to the tourist areas.
Yes, okay. Because, I was very appalled by what I saw. Okay. No, for real, though. Gerard says this was funnier show than usual today. That drink must be good. You know what, y'all? This is a hot toddy. And my daughter put a little extra on in it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not drunk, I don't think. It was good, but we'll see if it actually helps. I might have to get another one, so I feel better. But anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. He says, man, sis went 227 on Donovan. Aunt Esther, Aunt Esther, her and the homegirls that came through with the Bible. And oh yeah, that was me, like Aunt Esther. We shutting it down. Okay. Pull your pants up, fellas. Ladies, pull your skirts down. Okay, party is over.
Romans 3:16.
You know what I'm saying?
Hagar.
I should have bought a Honda. Let me quit before we get in trouble here. Anyway, we out of here. Love and appreciate y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.